after Update 2.0. American Autocannon Medium Tanks. The new branch sprouts from the familiar T-20 and includes 4 vehicles, topped by a Tier 11. The path to the branch's tip starts with the Ares 75. As with all vehicles in the branch, the number reflects the autocannon's caliber. This support tank will help you learn the basics of guns without reloading and with a thermal overheat control mechanic. As the tier increases, so does the combat power. The larger caliber of the Ares 85 lets it deliver on its potential more effectively. The Ares 90 raises the battle performance bar even higher. Its gun causes greater damage. The mobility is typical for medium tanks, and the armor, while not the most robust, can take a few hits. At the top of the tree is the Ares 90C. This tank combines top characteristics with high damage per minute and a fiery nature. And of course, like all Tier 11 vehicles, you can fundamentally improve it with the upgrade system. The main feature of all vehicles in the branch is guns of a higher caliber than those of Czechoslovakian autocannon tanks. The fire rate is lower, but the higher caliber lets you cause significantly more damage per shot. The American vehicles don't have the usual reloading system. At the start of battle, or when you change the shell type, a belt of the selected ammo is loaded. Afterward, you can fire as much as you like until the gun overheats or your ammo runs out. This mechanic lets you control the fire rate. In some combat situations, it's better to fire single shots, chipping away at your opponent's HP. In others, you can unleash a barrage of fire to cause maximum damage in the shortest time frame. The choice is yours. Another important feature of the American autocannon tanks is the new thermal overheat control mechanic. Each shot generates heat. The higher the temperature, the greater the dispersion. The gun starts to cool soon after you finish firing. If the temperature reaches a critical level, the gun locks and cannot be fired until it fully cools. One more trait of the whole branch is reserve tracks. If the main track is destroyed, the vehicle isn't stopped and can keep moving at a slower pace. To fully immobilize the tank, enemies need to destroy the reserve track too. This chassis feature helps you stay on the move, searching for new tactical opportunities. American autocannon tanks are for you if you like to control the rhythm of battle. The vehicles are perfect for flanking. And from long range, they provide good support to allies. Even if they don't penetrate, they have the enemy feeling on edge with constant pressure. Just remember to stay balanced and avoid the gun overheating. Choose your fire rate wisely. Don't take risks and keep an eye on the temperature, and high DPM is yours. As is the blast you'll have firing. Meet American medium tanks with autocannons. Stay in control, stay effective.
Hey there, tankers! Captain Tido here, and welcome back to another What Monthly episode. I'm here to bring you important dates, news, and updates coming up this February. Let's start off with a community favourite. Frontline returns between the 2nd and 9th of February. For those unfamiliar with the mode, it is a special game mode where players fight it out on extra large maps, fighting sector by sector, with the ability to respawn, giving you the opportunity to grind out your tier 8s and even play your premiums with same tier matchmaking. I hope you've been enjoying the current Onslaught season with its new detailed session statistics and Erlenberg map. Don't worry if you've fallen behind on any of the weekly missions. You'll still be able to catch up after the mid-season update coming early February. Also, starting this season, once you reach Gold rank, the LTC2 will become available to purchase in the Onslaught Bond shop. The Onslaught Legends series has a new sponsor, Surfshark. Tune in on Twitch throughout the season to earn OLS token store drops, where you can claim prizes such as the Kanonen...
Kanonenjagdpanzer 105mm.
Thank you. You can also pick up new OLS bundles to show your support for your favorite team. If they win, your star will be automatically upgraded. Mark the 21st and 22nd of February in your calendar for the finals. It's going to be all to play for this time around. Let us know in the comments who you think is going to win, and be sure to check out the article for further dates and details. Halfway through the Onslaught season, you will also have the chance to take on the Mega Platoon with some of your favourite content creators on February 7th. If you're feeling up to the challenge, why don't you try to defeat them? Otherwise, there are always Twitch drops to be earned. Spring has nearly sprung, which means that there will be a new round of Twitch drops for the Spring token store, including the opportunity to pick up the German Tier 7 heavy tank, the VK45.03. Tune into anyone in the World of Tanks category to start earning your drops. Once earned, claim them in your Twitch drops inventory, then find the Spring token store in-game and go spend your tokens. February brings a brand new Lunar New Year event, the Jade Emperor's Challenge, returning from February 12th until the 22nd. This fast-paced, limited-time 7v7 mode has teams fighting to capture and deliver the spirit of the Fire Horse across a specially decorated map. Unique class abilities and quick rounds encourage teamwork and constant action. And of course, there'll be rewards available for the event. We'll be sharing more details closer to launch, so keep your eyes out. A new Boosteroid bundle is arriving on February 1st, perfect for commanders who want to keep playing World of Tanks even when they are away from their usual setup. It comes with a brand new culinary-themed commander, ready to serve perfectly cooked ammo racks alongside guaranteed monthly rewards. Jump into battle wherever you are and check out the World of Tanks portal for all the details. Roses are red, camos in green. This Valentine's Friday, there's streams to be seen. Roll out your tanks, bring friends along too. On February 13th, I'm live just for you. Join me on Twitch for battles and fun. A cozy night stream when the workday is done. Tankers, you're welcome, come hang out and see. This Valentine's stream is where you must be. We have plenty to offer in-game too. Complete special Valentine's missions between the 13th and 16th of February and earn the Love Machine 2D style, along with decals and personal reserves. There will also be in-game vehicle gold discounts and some sweet deals in the premium shop. Check out the portal for more. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and be notified of future video releases. Keep your eyes on our portal for any more news and updates. Otherwise, that is all from me for now. If I don't see you on Twitch, then I'll see you all again for the next one.
The holidays are over, and the World of Tanks team is ready to present the large-scale update 2.1.1, which brings you new tanks and mechanics, improved Tier 11 vehicles, sound and interface updates, varied modes, and enjoyable rewards. Let's start with the hottest edition, the new branch of American autocannon medium tanks. It sprouts from the T-20 and includes 4 vehicles, topped by the Tier 11 Ares 90C. The newcomers differ from Czechoslovakian autocannon light tanks with a lower fire rate, but larger calibers and higher damage, as well as the unique thermal overheat control mechanic. These vehicles don't have the usual reloading system. At the start of battle or after you change the shell type, a belt of the selected ammo is loaded, which you can fire without stopping, only pausing to prevent the gun overheating. In some combat situations, it's better to fire single shots, while in others, you should unleash a barrage of fire to cause maximum damage in the shortest time frame. The main thing to remember is that the hotter the gun gets, the greater the dispersion. If it overheats, the lock system will kick in, and you'll need to wait until it fully cools. One more feature of these vehicles is reserve tracks. Thanks to these, you'll keep moving if your main track is destroyed. The American autocannon medium tanks, topped by a Tier 11 vehicle, are for you if you like to control the rhythm of battle. But if you want to try some different gameplay, take a look at another 2 new Tier 11 vehicles. Let's start with the Japanese STK-2 heavy tank, which carries on the tradition of the Type 71. The new vehicle has great gun depression thanks to its hydro-pneumatic suspension, as well as good turret armor, high damage per minute, and active gun cooling mechanic. Thanks to the last one, the gun starts cooling immediately after a shot, and the accuracy is partially improved by the time it finishes reloading. When it is fully cooled, the dispersion is minimal, like that of the best snipers in the game. And after several shots, it goes to the level of classic heavy tanks and lets you fight comfortably in close combat. This makes the new Tier 11 Japanese STK-2 heavy tank effective from any range and in varied combat situations. The next Tier 11 vehicle is the Chinese PTZ-78 tank destroyer with solid fuel jet boosters. These turn the massive assault vehicle into an unpredictable and even more dangerous opponent.
With the readjustment here, is Illusia going to get another shot in towards the lower plate? Yes, that means one shot on towards the 50M. Is XC-Max going to pick it up? Good shot in towards the Cupola. It is the 1v1 we've been waiting for here, and he does it.
The OLS Season 5 is already here. The best teams are ready to head onto the battlefield. Who will you be supporting? Root for your favorites, follow their journey, and stand by them. With you on their side, they'll be unstoppable. You take hits together with them, and that means you go all the way. Behind every vehicle is a personality, whose quick thinking and precise actions can change the outcome of battle. Victory is 100 shots and maneuvers, plus 1,000 emotions on the other side of the screen. Support your favorite OLS team. Be by their side. Together, until victory.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Surfshark Onslaught Legends Series Season 5, joined today by Banter. Welcome back to the broadcast, Banter.
Thanks man, it's nice to be here. We've got some good games today.
Every day we have good games. Today is going to be today is going to be the closing day of Phase 1 as well. We're going to see who crowns themselves champions of Phase 1, even doesn't matter that much. But before we continue with all that, let's give a quick and well-deserved shout out to our sponsor. Surfshark is the official sponsor of the Onslaught Legends Series League Season 5. We're of course very happy to have them supporting the tournament. Means that the players get more prize money, but for you, the viewers at home, there's something in it as well. We'll get to that in a bit. Surfshark is a VPN that helps you keep your connection completely secure and private. Doesn't matter if you're gaming, traveling, browsing online, basically anything that involves the internet. It works on unlimited devices, so your phone, your tablet, your second tablet, your 13th tablet if you want to, all one subscription for all. It's fast, easy to use, exactly what gamers are looking for. And this is the part that may be interesting to you. Surfshark has prepared a special offer specifically for you, the viewers at home. Just go to surfshark.com/OLS or use the code OLS at checkout, and you will get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN on top of it. If you want to, you can find all the details through the clickable Surfshark banner on the official World of Tanks Twitch channel. Just scroll down a little bit and you'll see it right there. Now, let's get back onto the final day of Phase 1. This, yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter that much being the champion of Phase 1, but it's like a nice ego boost, right?
Bragging rights means literally everything. Psychological domination, very important factor. I mean, no one wants to be second place, right? Even if it doesn't matter.
Yeah, of course, and the prize pool just above 50,000 actually, because it's split there as well. This is also why Phase 1 champions may matter at the end, regular season, adding a decent amount to those winnings for those teams. So you want to be first if you can, the more the better. And even between Vulgus and Weekend, there's still a little bit of money on the line there as well.
Yeah, their games, you know, even though they can't progress to stage 2, I mean, their game is still important. Whoever gets, what is it, 8th or 7th, it still matters. Or is it 6th or 7th? 6th or 5th or 6th, sorry. It still matters with that overall prize pool. So we'll need to see. They're playing each other today, and it's all important points that are up for grabs. So you can see the result.
The bundles, of course, still available as well with the Oracle bundle, the one you can buy to basically the playoffs start, I think, the morning of, to boost the prize pool, predict the right, get an upgraded style and badge. And today, 5 tokens for grabs. Remember, there is no Thursday and Sunday drop. We're having a mid-season break, but there is some mega platoon action coming your way during the weekend, so keep your eye tuned out for that as well. Token store, Canon Jagdpanzer, KV-122 if I'm not mistaken, Puddle, Banter's favorite.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, some styles, premium days, consumables, reserves. If you need something, you will find it there.
Yeah, historical tank enjoyer. Love that Poodle. But the other tanks are not that bad either. That Canon Jagdpanzers, no slouching randoms, and the rest of it, premium days, consumables, all useful stuff, especially if it's for free just by watching. So get it while you can.
Exactly. So all standings, yeah, 16 points for Hit and Run, who have been on quite a banger season yet again.
Yeah, they've been very dominant this season. I mean, the 2nd to 4th place of Mafia, Cashback, and W, they've all played each other. They've all, I think, what was it? W beat Cashback, Cashback beat Mafia, Mafia beat W. So it's been a bit of a weird trio for those. But Hit dominating, lording overall. CTR and Lotus not doing too bad, especially with newly promoted teams. But as you go down the table, it does look a little bit bleak with Vulgus and Weekend both already eliminated. So no last day drama for them, but it's still prize money up for grabs depending on who wins their game today.
And everything to play for. I mean, CTR, if they win the match that's upcoming and everybody else
lose.
Yeah, W lose, they're going to be swinging quite heavily up towards that upper echelon of the bracket, right?
Yeah. I mean, it all makes a difference, right? You want the best seeding possible. You want to be up there, especially when you're kind of not a new team, but a new team to OLS, like contesting against the big boys. You kind of want to show that you're here to play, right?
Indeed. Today, of course, you can get some rental tanks as well. The BZ75 and the E4. The E4, absolutely banger tank, in my opinion, for Onslaught.
Not just for Onslaught, I mean, they barely changed it since 2014. It's still amazing. You just get, you know, just almost a perfect tank. Excels at nothing, but is about 60% at everything. So, such a nice tank to play.
Yeah, I agree. So first up, W versus CTR, then Cashback versus Lotus, then Weekend versus Vulgus, and then Mafia versus Hit and Run to finish it off. And the last match of the day, probably the one to look forward to as well. Rematch of Season 4, rematch of WCI. So those teams know each other very well.
Yeah, both of them part of the same 15v15 team and Polish community, so definitely the one to watch. And I think it could make a difference, no? I think if Mafia win without Hit taking a point, they could get above them depending on game difference, but definitely one to watch out for. But the first one today, W versus CTR, definitely going to be a good one here. CTR have come hard into this tournament, the newest promoted team that's doing pretty well for themselves against the more established W, so quite a clash. And you can see the lineups here, some fantastic players on that W side, very well known and famous faces.
And they're doing very well this season with the additions of Piotr and Tomek, who's just on the bench, I guess, or helping from Discord. They have been doing very, very good. Lukin also gotten added, and he's gelling in there really well. So far, surprisingly good gameplay coming out from them.
Yeah, but there has been some teething issues. I've seen a lot of bounce shots and not great play, but they could definitely improve. I think they were my contenders to win the whole tournament, and I feel like they can still do better. But CTR here, again, a lot of well-known players, Crazy War, Frolly, a lot of people from even Isuba back in the day, if anyone remembers that team. But looking at the statistics here, best player Patras versus Klurf. Not bad stats. I mean, of course, win rate is going to go to W. They're the more traditionally established team, but Klurf playing those light tanks really well. Good pen rate for a light tank as well.
I mean, he's absolutely formidable in those light tanks. Patras, when he's not on his roof, also very solid for the side of CTR. But Klurf, he plays those light tanks. He's not as flashy as the likes of Liberty, for example, but he's very solid at it, nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, you know, with Liberty always gets the praise, but Klurf is like that silent, constant performer. No big plays, but no misplays, which is something important. But looking at the maps here, W banning Tundra and Tomorrow, one of their favorites. CTR banning Ensk into Ghost Town. Quite a surprise there, but we can see if CTR can pull something out the bag in a final map of Pilsen. What's your opinion on these maps?
I'm curious to see how it plays out, because they're very mature maps, to put it that way. They're not easy to play at all. Moravanka and Ghost Town, especially Ghost Town, lending itself usually to the team with more experience that can control the map a bit better, deal with those resets as well. So I want to see how CTR is able to match up against W there, especially because they are the ones actually picking Ghost Town, which, like I said, it's not an easy map at all.
No, I mean, those open maps with a lot of bushes, you need a lot of luck, a lot of good timing, and a lot of skill to play these types of very open, bush-heavy maps, because a lot of things can go wrong and you can collapse very easily if you lose some decisive positions. Even in a map like Onslaught, where there are planes and things, Ghost Town is no easy map to play, so a bold one from CTR. We'll need to see if it works out for them.
Yeah, it could go really well, of course, but we're going to start it off with Moravanka. So that's the first one, which we need to see. And what are we expecting here from the teams?
Well, W can do a lot of things. I mean, they're probably the most well-known team on Moravanka. They used to play something called the Rat Tactic, a lot of lightly armored tanks with small strikes to kind of pin your opponents on map control and bush play. So, and they've worked those angles. We've seen it many times using of course, this middle of the map, a lot of bushes, so it's difficult for heat shooting tanks, but there are angles you can get decaps into this cap circle, so W are quite favored on this map. We've seen them perform really well on it. They've done a lot of work with it, so W can really do anything. CTR, we'll need to see what they come out with, but looking at the lineups here, we've got some interesting tanks. You take it away.
CTR coming out with the RHM, the 430U, the 140. No 430Us anymore. Double bat, triple BZ.
Yeah, so 4005.
Yeah,
I'm excited, but W, triple BZ, 140, double 430U, and the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. Really interesting how, as the season has progressed, we're seeing less C50Ms and more 430Us being taken. I've always been a fan of the 430U in this mode. Nice, low profile, good punchy alpha. And obviously the camo rating as well, less of a factor, but still important. We can kind of see both teams might be going for a cap play in the beginning. This could be quite an interesting one.
Neither of the two light tank players actually using their plane. Kodicek and Klur still have it available, so neither wants to go for it. No info from either team. Then who does this favor?
It's hard to say. I feel like W are reading what CTR are doing. The 430Us are going a little bit wide. Info tower being taken by W. So this is an all-in play by CTR. No small amount of damage being taken going into this cap circle. W are taking the map control with the light tank right now. I feel like W are in the better position, but they're pushing through onto these 430s, and this could be brutal.
Paul and Mentos already running away. Mentos actually deciding to stay close, and that's a mistake because the bad shots are incoming. Floki, Herman, and Kodicek are here. Mentos, how much does he take for that little spin around? Very little, actually, just gets away in the nick of time. And there is a 430 on 1-2 line already farming. Itox very hold down. The strike coming out as well. Evo pushing in. These bad shots need to find success. They're trying to do what they can. They're moving on towards Itox now, that isolated target. But Floki has a lot of shells available. He needs to make sure that he connects all of those. Piotr and Lukin just repush him back. Pass fast. Woodhawk past, Patras into the forest, Floki goes down, Hermansil has 2 in the chamber, he has 1 left, he will not make his full clip either, and CTR with the all-in play will not even get Itox out of the game as Nibal shuts Scotty check down, and the forest push gets deforested by W.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one for CTR. If they were E50Ms, it might have been a bit easier. They've got much bigger lower plates, but Batchat, not known for its hyper-accurate gun, and W with these 430s low to the ground, even with the Onslaught modifiers, it's not that easy when you're shooting on the move with a Batchat to hit the 430 reliably, and they were just pushing in with clippers onto those high DPM tanks. They didn't have the full info, and they made a difficult play to pull off at the best of times, pushing into a BZ and 2 430s, and it absolutely collapsed here. CTR going in bold, but not making it work.
For a second there, if Mentos was still further forward, because he had this little moment where he spun around and then drove back, if he was still forward, then they can catch the first kill with the bad shots and then reload, who knows. But even then it would be really, really
It's
hard.
still a hold down 430, BZ's boosting in. I feel they're pushing him with the light as well.
A chance.
A chance. We can call it a chance. A bold chance.
I mean, that's all they have. But you know, starting it off with a first kill would be really, really nice, but it didn't happen. You know, so
yeah. I mean, it was a bold push. I think it's quite a surprise that W had so many tanks there. I feel like the play from CTR, it was blind, but it wasn't that bad of a play. You normally don't see 3 tanks on one line. It's most of the time just 1, and maybe CTR, knowing how W likes to play, expected them maybe to have gone for a more map control lineup, but W reading what CTR wanted to do and doing it really well. This nice battle results screen looks a little bit different.
yeah,
I like it.
it's getting upgraded. So always work in progress, looking fancy. So damage-wise, we see Itox top on the board there. Not really a surprise.
No, I mean, he was in the perfect position. If you look at CTR, the Batchats, neither of them got off a full clip. Floki only got 4 shots off him and only 3. Koidacek, he's the light tank. He's not expected to do that much damage in these brawls, but it's just not that much. I mean, the damage doesn't really tell us much. Our eyes told us everything we needed to know. They pushed into tanks that are good on the defensive, these 430Us, the high DPM, the low profile. It's really hard to push out these types of tanks. 50Ms, I think, would have been a little bit easier. Bigger lower plates, bigger side profile. Might have been much easier for the bats to kind of auto-aim as they drove past them. But yeah, I think we said just about all we've said for this round. I think there's not much else to say. CTR made a bold play and it didn't work, and we got to see what they want to do in the next one.
It could have worked if W had less tanks there, but like I said, W was there initially with a lot of tanks, spotted out some BZs, did some damage. It is a really hard push to make then for CTR. I feel like this works better if it's like W being way more split than this.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a horrible play by CTR, to be honest.
No, I don't think so.
Like,
they just ran into like the blind counter almost.
Yeah, normally it's like 1 or 2 max. The fact that it was 3 and it was all high DPM tanks really is kind of a complete breaker of CTR's tactics. It's just unlucky. It's with everything in life, you need a bit of luck, and CTR just didn't have it here. I really feel like if there was only 1 or 2 tanks there, they could have made something work, because the RHM was out of the game on the other side. The BCs were in the middle getting the info point, and there was a timing where if there were less tanks there, they could have definitely made this work, but you know, coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Second round potentially will bring them more success, right?
Yeah, I mean, I do like this decisive play. All of our predictions starting off strong. I think it's a CTR are predicting themselves to lose, apparently, but it's not an illogical prediction we've all gone for. CTR have shown they can get points and they can take points, so giving them 1 or 2. I was really debating 3-2 for W, but W being that more well-known and established team, it's a logical scoreline for us all to predict.
Yeah, I don't think it's too surprising. I mean, we all still favor W's experience as well. It's pretty normal. Second round of Morvanka lineup: CTR, Foch B, 140, E50M, CS, and Triple BZ.
Yeah, W again, Triple BZ, 1 CS, E50M, 430, and 430U. Neither team opting for a light tank here, so both might be going for that brawl. I'm not sure if that favors CTR though, especially after that previous round. And still, I don't think we can tell much from the lineups here. It looks like both teams want to go straight for that cap, and we might see a brawl pretty early here.
It does seem to be the way again of the brawl. But this time around, you can see W is boosting on the outside. They're getting spotted out by Evo already. He saw what did he see so far? One of the BZs. He needs to be really careful committing into the strike. He will, but he will also have really quick support. The CTR tanks will turn, and Evo needs to be careful. He's gonna get focused out here in the beginning.
That's gonna hurt. 1, 2, 3. Could have even been worse for that Ivo opting to go to the left side instead of the right and takes a full volley. This forces CTR to push back in and try and make those isolations onto the BZs. It's not great. Ivo will go down, but in return, these BZs might actually fall for this. Mentos getting focused out. Piotr will be next. E50M pushing onto that 140 in the north, and we'll need to see how this plays out.
Now, the problem right now is that Kodicek is already pretty low. He's going to fall against Piotr. Ios is going to start disengaging because you said it, that E50M is chasing him down now. That's Floki coming in. If they can get the Inspired, it'd be really, really big for CTR, but Ios is already so far on the run. I don't think they will get him. Nepal playing around a little bit with that BZ. He falls to Itox, and now Piotr boosting back, and the BZ on the 3-4 line will mean that the E50M that is there gets isolated as well. Patras is on reload. Floki is dying, and CTR, they just never got the initial lead. It was W killing the CS, and then they never let that go. And again, kind of a blind counter, you could say.
Yeah, I mean, this Foch is an issue, right? It means that they can't really push Ivo straight, but after it clips out, there's nothing that it can really do. And the fact that W were able to make that volley into Ivo, they've always got those initial shots. That's why in a lot of games, right, when you go around the corner, you always want your opponent to go around the corner because then you give him the first shot. This was kind of W gave that first volley into Iov and never really let it go. Lukin made a good play running all the way to the south, and they got Iov out the game. They focused out those BZs in the mid. I mean, it was just nice, calm, cool, and collected by W. They made the most of a gift by CTR and just never let it go.
And just like that, W is up 2-0.
Yeah, quick games.
Very quick, Moravanka. Very quick. Both of them came out to brawl, and you know.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with the decision by Iov to go to the left. I mean, he saw those BZs on the left side. So I feel like I'm pretty sure he spotted at least 2 BZs on the left. So if you go to the left side, you're taking 1500 at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, he did see the. I'm surprised he committed in more.
That also.
I'm surprised he committed in seeing those double BZs on the outside. That is the bigger factor, because honestly, if he doesn't, like this game, I think it's all about Ivo. I don't know if it was a call or not, but he already saw tanks on the outside in the beginning. If he doesn't commit in, his team will take the cap and have pretty decent positions, even against these BZs that were going middle of W. I feel like W would be in a disadvantage then.
Yeah, I think it's an individual decision. Like, I think the reactions are not fast enough for the FC to tell Ivo to stop. I think he's got to kind of register that he needs to stop himself. I mean, we looked though, but even like Patras in that Foch B didn't get out a full clip. He only got out 4 shots. The rest of the team, not bad. 430, 140, we obviously expect to be top damage. The BZs didn't do too badly. I think Koitacek got focused out, but I don't think that's a horrendous outcome, especially when Mentos didn't get that much damage out either. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Iov making this commitment really put CTR in a disadvantage.
Just the question is if it's like a personal call or not. You know, you can't really blame him.
I think with CS, when you're driving so quick, it needs to be a personal decision. An FC can't react that fast. I think when a CS is driving at like 70 kph through the middle, like I feel like the guy needs to, because he got the spots himself while he's driving. So I think he needs to make the decision to stop. But it depended. I didn't see how many BZs got spotted. I believe it was 2, but they were all traveling together and their nicknames kind of blend together, you know. So, not entirely sure. If he spotted all 3, then he definitely should have stopped, because that was just illogical.
2-0. The good thing is for CTR, they're going on towards their map pick now, I guess, at least.
Yeah, but it's not an easy map pick, and going 2-0 down the best of 5 is not the easiest thing in the world, especially on an open map like this. Like, we're going to need to see some S-tier light tank gameplay. I think CTR need to kind of step their foot on the brakes, not go for these fast fights they've been going for, because if you look at W's lineup, there's a lot of high player skill players in there. Like, if you can afford to put a player like Jakefra on the bench, you can afford to go for brawls, and I think CTR are going to struggle in those. I think they need a little bit of a slower game with a bit of luck, I think.
And so far, both teams have been very much out to brawl. If this continues, that's a good question. I am very curious.
I think they got to put the brakes on now, especially after, you know, you go for brawl 2 times, you lose 2 times. I feel like, you know, you want to keep punching yourself in the face. Like,
but first it doesn't succeed, try again. If it doesn't succeed, try 2 more times.
Yeah, exactly. Can't wait for stage 2 where they have to try it another 4 times. But lineups: W, E100, double bat, CS, Leopard, E4, and a T100 actually.
Yeah, interesting one. In return, CTR, RHM, 430U, Bat, the ICE-4 making its return again, triple BZ, and 1 tank switching to a Type 5. We see a lot more IS-4s now these days. Understandable, it works really well against BZs, but W doesn't have BZs.
Yeah, I used to hate the IS-4 actually, but I've slowly warmed to it, especially in Onslaught. I feel like, it, you know, you have so much HP, you have a pretty good profile of tank, so it's kind of be a bit difficult, especially with the high side armor. But CTR not putting their foot on the brakes. They're going straight for this fight. They're going to boost the IS-4 into the cap, make a quick cap play, and try and make it work. But W are going straight for that 7-line cap, and they do have this Leopard and CS that have small strikes for decap, so this is not going to be an easy one for CTR.
Floki comes in, Froley comes in, the third one joining as well. Nepal will get the strike, but it gets reset by Koricek. Kind of as expected. Herman now taking it in return, but the double bat already pushing towards that. RHM, Mentos, and Isles, they don't seem to be stopping either. Piotr peeking around in the big old D100, going to start clapping on towards Herman, and Mentos and Isles, they're about to say hello to Koricek, who's about to get a big surprise double batch. Starting to clip him out. Evo could intuition to HE if he wanted to for maximum damage. Kind of a potential there for him if he wanted to, and he does it as well. Minus 1167 on Mentos. The cap now down towards 8 seconds, but there was a reset by the likes of Itox, who will have to do it once more. The reset coming out again. Herman in the meantime dying as well. The T100 even chiming in with a shot or 2 from behind the building. That's Herman down. That's 2 tanks for the side of CTR that are going to be dead. And what do they get in return? Not much so far.
No, I mean, they got to go for Itox. The Batcha needs to pressure the Leopard, but I think it's already too late for this. That cap went down mighty close. That was about 1 second left. I don't know if you saw it, and Itox got that decap at the last minute, but I feel CTR should have kind of abandoned the cap at some point and gone to try and make a kill, especially when so many tanks are out of play and the Batshot's on reload on that 0 line. But now it's just HP might be equal, but 2 tank disadvantage. Itox still isn't dead. The Bat's chasing the Leopard, but he doesn't have enough shells, and the Batshot's coming in for support. In the north, the type of Iov is absolutely getting deleted. Patras does make the... Oh no, sorry. The type does go down. Patras now on reload. He will be able to take out Lukin, but the Batshot of Mentos up there, he will be able to provide crossfire. The BZ's going across, but I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. Piotr now brawling with Floki and Woodog, trying to make the kill. Woodog's forced to boost out of there before Piotr can make the kill. And we'll need to see if CTR can clean up this 0 line, K line before the rest of the W tanks get back into the game.
I mean, Lukin is going to maybe die against Froley. I think you're really on the belief train, because Froley gets 1.
Listen, I've had words with Keyhand. He's told me to keep the hype up until the last second.
Yeah.
Froley can still win this.
That would be a Keyhand moment, but Froley is about to die against Mentos, and W luck in match number 1 with 3-0 in 20 minutes?
Might have been less than that. What time is it?
26?
26 minutes.
Yeah, but you know,
But obviously, I'm not talking about in-game time. It was about 3 minutes, but
10 minutes in total.
Yeah, I mean, what to say about this game? W made a good move. It completely countered CTR yet again, and yeah, I mean, I feel like CTR are just punching themselves in the face here. I feel like a slower, more tactical approach, you can make something work, but I mean, this was close though. It didn't look close on the scoreline, but that cap timer got to 99. Like that was about a second left. If you rewatch it.
Yeah, but Itox should always be able to reset, huh?
True, but he should have gotten the decap a little bit earlier, no?
Yeah, sure, for sure. It could always be more secure, right?
Yeah. But apart from that, they just made purely good moves. I mean, the Batchat's pushing onto the RHM. the BZ getting pushed on by the E100. The BZ doesn't like to fight an E100 at the best of times. You know, more HP, more DPM, big tracks that are bad with heat rounds. So it's kind of a perfect engagement for W. They just get 2 tanks for next to for free.
And the recovery after is basically impossible. Well played from W. They, again, kind of a counter to what CTR is doing with double bad shot, taking 0 line to delete the RHM very quickly. E100 to come in to kill the BZ. It's all just bad trades from CTR in that regard. And there was not really too many matches in which they had an opportunity. I think the second Muravanka was the one where they could have won.
Yeah, I mean, that first one, they just kind of pushed into their deaths. The second one, yeah.
Look at Piotr's damage.
5 stops. Yeah, and an E100 as well. I think he was almost shooting the whole game. A lot of that was farmed on the IS-4 and the BZ, but 7k and an E100 is no easy feat. I'd be curious of his hit and pen rate. I guess he hit everything, but Mentos, 5k with the bat, IOS, 4k. I mean, it's nice by W. Everyone has damage except Clef. And Clef is a light tank, so it's not that important.
Yeah,
especially
the 200, you don't really expect to do too much damage.
Yeah, I mean, it has a lower profile than the RHM, but has a bit less firepower, less HE.
Sucks compared to the RHM.
That also, with RHM you get the HE damage, so you get that like little nice advantage. But I mean, the T100 does have a place. I think I don't hate the tank. When everyone, you know, in 15v15, when everyone takes Manticores, I still think T100 is better than the Manti, but RHM is more king in this game mode. It's closer to a CS than it is to a T100.
Yeah. Well, for W, that was a quick and easy 3 points.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel a bit underwhelmed, you know. I'm already ready for the next game. I want more. This CTR just making these aggressive pushes. I really feel like, you know, last season when Weekend, they got to the semis, right? When they played these nice aggressive strats and it seemed to, for some reason, catch everyone off guard. I feel like CTR tried this, and you know, if you're getting punched in the face every time you're trying something on the 3rd attempt, you really got to reconsider. And now I hope
the good thing is
in
phase 2 they get to do it at least 4 times if it doesn't work, because it's going to be best of 7 then.
Fantastic.
Yeah. That was it for W versus CTR though. When we come back, 3 more matches on the menu, but before then, let's take it away with some replays. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Surfshark Onslaught Legends Series Season 5. We have kicked out Banter, we've replaced him with Kihan. Don't know why we've done that, but here we are.
Ah man, that past match, it went so fast. I didn't even have time to finish everything in my Onslaught mug. But yeah, not gonna lie, that was like 15 minutes and done. That was probably one of the quickest matches that we've had so far. Kind of crazy. W showing up huge. I think all of us were expecting for a CTR to pick up around there, but now the roles don't got less clear cut, to be honest. Cashback versus Lotus. Lotus already being out, but they obviously... sorry, no, not being out. No, that's two other teams. But yeah, Lotus not looking that hot so far. Cashback, however, on top of things.
Indeed. And apparently it's Starks' birthday. Unbelievable.
Yeah, happy birthday to him. Let's see if he is going to give himself a present or three in regards to the points. But I think he and his team, they've got their work cut out for them. Cashback, no slouches.
No, Cashback is a very, very solid team, and Lotus has to be very careful about how they approach this, because they saw W lose very quickly, while playing against Cashback could also be quick, but they don't really play that fast though.
No, I think W today, they went in with kind of the, how do you say, like the opinion that they were the better team and they just needed to show it, and they just did it by overwhelming CTR. Cashback might do that, but they're a little bit more known for playing things in a control kind of way. Liberty here coming in, not the highest DPG, but that is just because the man really likes playing light tanks as well. An absolute prodigy with those. And of course, with the light tanks, you tend to do less damage, but probably higher impact gameplay regardless.
Yeah, I mean, the lights are usually not the top damage dealers. The community predictions is quite top heavy towards Cashback though. 90% for them, 10% for Lotus. Kind of expected, you guys.
Yeah, to be honest, I can see it, where it's coming from. I mean, Cashback just completely established team, whereas Lotus, yes, they had OLS appearances before, but you just have to give it to Cashback.
I mean, I definitely would as well, and especially because, you know, the regular season matters just a little bit more now. Teams are less likely to give away too much, I think.
Yeah, there was, I think, a slight change that you're alluding to. The regular season, or the results of it, do end up giving cash as well. So it doesn't only matter what you do in the playoffs anymore. That being said, for both of those teams, it's going to matter what they will do here and today on those maps that we see before us. Muravanka and Tundra being banned out. So we are going to start on Lotus's pick of Himmelsdorf. Quite the interesting one. I don't think we've seen too much of Himmelsdorf. And then Ruinberg, talking about picks that we haven't seen too much of, I think Ruinberg's still absolutely a dark horse.
If we have seen it a few times, very slow so far. Maybe a team figures out a way to break it open quickly. That's what I'm kind of waiting for. And if that is not enough, it goes to Cliff if we get there. So double city map into Cliff.
So I would say Himmelsdorf, a pretty aggressive map to start things out on. Ruinberg, maybe a change of pace to go slower. And I mean, Cliff, you always start with a lot of action there. You could calm down at some point during the match, but question is, are we going to get there? Because with Lotus, with their place number 6, I believe, right now in the standings, are not going to be favored here against Cashback, whereas those guys obviously are aiming for the top spots, maybe even to reclaim their title at the end of the season, but that obviously remains to be seen. For Lotus, after their loss last playday against CTR, they are confirmed to be in phase 2, but they better start racking up some points now. Is that correct? You went with a 3 for Lotus?
That's definitely not right, that's definitely not. I think I'm at 3-0. Yeah, okay. Maybe apparently it's a me error, but obviously, yeah, okay, I meant 3-0 for Cashback, guys. Come on, let's not joke around now. It's my fault. It's my fault. But I think we can all understand, right? I think we can all understand that this is just a small error.
I mean, some would call it a mishap, even.
If we're gonna be this serious about the prediction game, we're gonna start putting prices on it as well, because
well, let's see. I think we're just about ready to hop in the first game in between Lotus and Cashback here. And on Himmelsdorf, that's quite the interesting lineup by Lotus. Double Type 5 and quintuple CS. All right.
That's a lot of CS63s. Cashback in return, double PZ, 1 CS, a 140, double Blitzcrank and first beat. That is a lot of CS63s.
I hate it. Not gonna lie. Initial impression, I absolutely hate the lineup from Lotus. Because, yeah, they do have the Type 5, the double Type 5 to sustain, to take a bit of a punch, but, like, the CSs are so squishy. And, like, yeah, you're a medium tank, you have pretty good DPM, and they're, of course, going to get priority over the hill. Sending all 5 CSs there even, but they're banking on some cascade effect that I'm not sure it's going to happen. That being said, if they can catch Cashback off guard here on the hill, then it might obviously work.
I mean, they might actually find the CS63 of Aka, to be honest. If 3 of them go like 0 line unspotted.
I mean, he needs to immediately evacuate down in towards 8 line as soon as he sees 1 or 2. I mean, then of course it's high go time. But let's see, Aka immediately getting spotted out. He does get the info tower, I do believe, but running away is the wrong idea. Aka, my brother, you should have gone down in towards the middle of the map. Instead, he goes down in towards the garage. The next one is going to be Liberty. Will they immediately capitalize on it? It doesn't look like it, but that is a lot of information. Jordan with a bad peek takes 2 shots for that one. Liberty obviously has the ability, and that is a lot of gun depression that would be required here. That is 3 tanks though facing off against 4 with a lot of DPM on those CSs, but you can see they just don't have the sustain. They're taking so much damage for this. Liberty now starting to heal up. It's not going to be enough even with the baby strikes. 314. Finally he goes down, but the price has been paid. The HP have been taken.
Yeah, sure, but Cashback is actually down 1000 HP after all of this and down 2 guns, so, you know, Aphrodite and Mindbreaker, they could re-push back up, but they're facing off against 5 CSs on top of the hill.
I think the problem is that now the cat is kind of out of the bag, if you know what I mean. Like, the surprise has worn off.
I think this is unlosable for Lotus.
They're going to lose the alpha trades with the CS.
Unlosable, Gihad. Unlosable. The hill is too dominant in this kind of game. It's too dominant. Together with the fact that they will generate mini strikes to reset with, it's unbeatable.
Oh, I mean, some shots going out here. Cashback obviously trying their best to not lose any kind of HP now, but of course, the information point being gathered, this now reveals that Cashback are completely split, and to be honest, the positions that they're split in, it's horrible for them, because the 2 groups of tanks that they have, they can't support each other. The double Type 5 is now just going to book it towards Brainbreaker. That can't really drive away too much. The 140, Squeezy trying to put some supportive fire, but yeah, it seems like Cashback not looking too hot right now. Brainbreaker taking a lot of damage as well. And yes, Squeezy is going to farm a whole lot, but the HP, they do not lie together with the tanks. It's probably too little too late. And yes, what Aka should have done at the start, the CSs are doing now. They're just dropping from the hill, transitioning over in towards the middle, in towards the 1-2 line. There, they'll get 2 more quick kills. David with a good body blocker as well against Brainbreaker that really and realistically can't do anything in his BZ-75s. Even the support shots now raining in, but the space time of the Type 5 pretty good against heat. So Lotus are going to find surprise against Cashback. They just need to drive it home.
Sokol penned 140 with HG as well, I think, on top of it. So we give a 1100 shot to Squeezy, and now the CS63s are just evacuating the area, man. Like I said, Kian, unlosable.
I mean, you should see my random Onslaught teams. They'd lose that 10 out of 10.
If it was you on their team, I would definitely say it's losable. Oh. That's different, you know?
Okay, we're gonna go this route. I see how it is.
You really think you were like comparable to a Cashback or a Lotus player?
No, of course not.
Bro, I wouldn't even
I was
compare
trying
you
to
to-
blame the team. Okay, let me employ the standard coping mechanism.
I wouldn't even compare you to a Vulgus player.
I mean, probably fair, unfortunately.
This is a Cashback needs to somehow repush down 3 guns. I'm not seeing it. You know.
Nah, I'm not seeing it either. And the thing as well is that, of course, with the way that the tiebreaker rules work, the timeout rules work, Lotus is winning right now because they have 3 more tanks, and that means that Cashback needs to generate 3 kills without losing one, and then they need to have more damage dealt. But Lotus, they know that as well, and they're not going to make that mistake. Instead, they can just, play off of the single strike that they have. They still have very, very healthy Type 5s, or at least so-callers, so you can kind of play frontline right now. And the tanks that Cashback have, the problem there as well is that, they're not too good against the Type 5, to be honest. The Bliska's kind of low APCR pen. So, what do? Well, maybe talk about game number 2?
I think in Cashback's case, they definitely should be thinking about the Himmels, because what are they repushing? Where are they going to find an angle to repush at? Like, what can they do? Where can they go? It's one of those games where it's like, yeah, you can try. Of course you will try, but like every angle, there's 2 CS63s, and if the game goes on long enough, there's 5 of them.
And I think that is the biggest problem for Cashback, is that the mobility of those CSs is just going to counter anything that Cashback might do. Basically, if you don't manage to catch like 1 or 2 of them immediately through the push, then the other 3 are going to join, and you're just going to get DPM'd to death. And every time those CSs tag you as well, they're going to generate roll XP for the baby strike. And that also means just more damage that you're going to take in the long run. Just anywhere around the map. Like if any of the tanks by Cashback drops very low, then it's going to start raining, hailing even. And I don't think Cashback brought an umbrella for that one.
And it's so funny, like imagine this, 65 mini strikes. At some point I think they're all putting strikes on the 0 line, and it does stick up, with 5 of them. What could Cashback, what could they realistically do? They have double strike, okay. But Lotus has double strike. I mean, Lotus more like has 7 strike.
I mean, currently Lotus has 2 big ones and 2 small ones. Twist about to take up over. I don't think they're going to commit any CS tanks on the cap to generate roll XP this way. Smart by Brainbreaker to wait here until Squeezy is close to basically be able to heal up both of them. But realistically, does it make a difference? A small one, maybe. But is it going to help? Probably not.
They're going to try on the K line. They're going to meet Jordan. In the CS63, I think he'll just spot and run away. But kudos to Cashback, they're still trying it out. Mindbreaker will swing and see Jordan. Jordan gives a shot. Mindbreaker retaliates. That's one dead tank, actually. If they use the strike properly, the strike's now coming in. Jordan is dead. It's okay, Cashback. Alright. I see it, and I like it.
Yep. And the thing is, like, a lot of those CS tanks are actually in the same kind of HP range, if you will. Like, Botchik, Darksik, all of them around 1,000 and a bit. Ooh, now though Mindbreaker making the big move over, and of course a lot of the tanks are gonna be aimed. That's a lot of damage down towards one shot here. Didn't fire, but the strike is going to confirm it, and yeah, if we didn't know already, now we do. Cashback, dire times.
I mean, Little's trying to trade it out against Sokol, so Cashback HP is doing alright at least. As best as you could imagine. Good shot there again from Little through the track of the Type 5 Heavy. Squeezy down towards the 1-shot. Squeezy down to 2 mini strikes. He's hightailing it out of there. A strike is being picked up by Aphrodite, but they still need to generate 3 kills. Somehow.
Well, the Type 5 now driving towards Little, who isn't even looking. So called to shut it down, and it was 9 minutes in this first round here, but realistically it was decided after just about 90 seconds at least the first round, in between Lotus and Cashback. Lotus realistically with an all-or-nothing strategy, but sometimes you gotta risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah, it was a great counter. It really, really was. You catch the CS63 and then the Foch Bs, you know, it's like trying to shoot every single one of them. It doesn't get to kill anybody. He gets picked up as well, and then just good rotations from Lotus. I think they could have held the hill as well, but solid start. Really, really solid.
Yeah, you like to see it.
I don't like to see it, actually. I predicted 3-0 for this.
Oh, well, but for Lotus, no?
No, I sorry, I cannot. It's too emotionally upsetting.
But for Lotus, it is kind of the start that they needed, to be honest. Because I think for Cashback, if you let them grow comfy in the match, then that's kind of the worst thing that can happen. Then it just, you know, for a lot of teams, Cashback can feel like that team that is sort of the wall that you run into, and you're not the juggernaut, so you're not going to be just driving through that. And here we can see the final stats, and that's a lot of strike damage as well on those CS tanks. Over 1k on both Tarks and Tuka.
Yeah, I mean, they got the big strikes as well, though. But like across the board, you see a lot of CS strike damage on the CSs. 200, 1.3, 1.7, 2.7, 3.8. Serious. 4k? Somewhere above 4k with strike damage? I like it. That's a lot. That really is a lot.
And it also feels like, you know, those kind of strats, I mean, you obviously need to train them a little bit, but those are strats that you can come up with kind of quickly, and if they work like this, you can hold back a lot else of what you do and just get easy rounds like this, especially against opponents that normally should be favored against you.
For sure. For sure. But for Lotus, yeah, indeed, it's a great start. I mean, if they can do this again, that would ruin everybody else's prediction. That would make me very happy as well.
Imagine Lotus now wins 3-0, but you were adamant about predicting for Cashback.
Imagine. I mean, honestly, I won last season. You know, like, if you won the season before, I feel like you don't care that much.
I think I won the season before last season. I'm pretty sure I won one of them at least, if not two. But yeah, I kind of understand what you mean. Not that people like Banter would know.
He hasn't done any winning ever, actually. I think his highest fist is a silver fist. Even Kian has a gold fist.
True.
Undeserved, but...
Oh, what do you mean?
Don't even get me started, buddy. Undeserved. Just because they fame put you in for 1 or 2 rounds when the game was already over doesn't mean...
I played an absolutely crucial role in the qualifiers of that tournament because Papa Pavian was stuck in a traffic jam, so I had to fill in.
Amazing. Was I in that tournament?
It was the first ever tournament in which Golden Fists were given out. Not sure.
I don't think so then, thank God. I would have not let that happen, let me put it that way. I would not stand for that.
Alright, round number 2. Let's see if Cashback can stand for what just happened. And first of all, the Lotus lineup looking a lot more normal, but, you know, even though I said I hated it at the start, it worked out, so can't blame him for it. But now, quadruple BZ 75, IS7 140, and Bliskavica.
In return, double Foch B and E4, Bliska and E140 and double type 5 for Cashback. So Lotus again looking like a very heavy push.
Cashback, I don't hate it. I think they have the tanks to receive with the double Foch B. That can be a mess to push into. Together with Bliska as well, the E4, the type 5s to build the front line, and the 140 to you know, just harass from the sidelines, just continuously inspire. Let's see how it's going to play out, though. And Lotus are sending a lot of tanks to the 3 line and immediately getting spotted. Squeezy, initial damage. That is pretty good for him with that 140, getting out the Inspire early.
Yeah, and he instantly pops it as well just to give his teammates that initial boost. Double BZ going towards the middle. Aphrodite's on reloads, maybe the strike. is takeable here for the side of Lotus, but they don't want to go for that. Double Flush B, lingering on the 8 line as well in a sort of a trap. So far, it's fine. I mean, the problem for Lotus is this battle's on a timer, and it's ticking.
Well, one of the Fosh Bs, that's Liberty, is now getting split off towards the hill. I think that's because Cashback feels safe that no initial push is going to happen. They can split off a tank little. Missing the shot on the BZs, maybe was shooting on someone behind them, but yeah, Liberty is indeed going to put them on a time. A good shot in towards Little, though. Damage reduction active, but that's a lot of HP to plead right at the start of the game.
For sure. And the problem is, still, though, that there is a timing coming. The timing of the first B on the hill. Nonetheless, even though the trade was not that optimal, the first B on the hill unpassed the entirety of Lotus, in my opinion. All of their positions basically get exposed slowly but surely due to that hill, especially this D line, this BZ on D5. And I think Lotus is really, really underestimating what is going to happen once this rotation comes out, because that BZ is going to get free clipped from the hill.
Yeah, either the BZ or the IS-7, right? It just depends on which target Liberty is going to choose. And he does appear, starts to shoot on towards the IS-7 of Tarxic, actually, who now kind of feels pressure to evacuate. Nah, might be trying to just tank it out. No, he's going to go in towards the cap now. So he's going to be safe from most of the tanks, but the Fosh B just switching targets, firing on towards David, and now Liberty is going to get a full reload off with no one even close to punish.
And that's a problem. That's a big problem. He is on the hill for free. There's a Fosh B joining him as well. And Tarks in the cap needs to be careful as well. A Brainbreaker could pressure that at some point. And you know, what does Lotus do against this? 140 and Blitzkrieg is not going to win the hill. They need 3 tanks for it.
They need more now, because the second Fosh B also rotated to the hill, so it's not going to be 6, but 12 shells waiting for them. Mindbreaker is going to stay safe for now. Liberty was standing sideways, but oh, big shot by Brainbreaker in towards the BZs. He's even completely ignoring the I-7, just firing through the window on towards the BZs as Tuka realizes that it's time to do something, and it's go time against Brainbreaker, who's slowly but surely gaining priority over Tarks in that IS-7 now. However, Tuka has arrived. Big damage in towards the Type 5. No reset even coming in on towards the IS-7. That might be a problem. And the double Fosh B on the hill started clipping out Mindbreaker already on the reload as Little bouncing that one on towards Sokol. He's getting double teamed though. Jordan also available, but Jordan goes down to a one-shot.
Little peeking out, wants to trade it out against Sokol, but he needs to be careful. He's kind of dying for that. In return, Tuka getting well, 2-man teamed by Brainbreaker and Squeezy, and he will not get Brainbreaker either because he's healing up just past that 650 marker. Some shots coming in from the hill as well. That's the Fosh B. Squeezy with the finish will start to take the strike as well. And now Aka helping us with Sokol. Little gets one more shot out against Sokol. That's an important one. And Cashback's now set into wrestle control. Aphrodite here on the 8 line is supported by Liberty, but I don't think Liberty really wants to go down, so he's just trying to get a few free shots from that top hill. And Fizz bouncing, I don't think it's going to matter. In the end, Aphrodite will not get the reload. The strike comes out, and Botsik is gonna... No, well, it was the strike from Lotus. I thought it was Cashback's strike for a second there, trying to hit 2. This one is the one from Cashback.
Oh, he tried to go into the heel, and he dies for it. Not the best micro play here coming out from the Blitzkrieg. Tarxic with another shot taken, I think, by Mindbreaker, who's now on the long reload as well, but Squeezy is there in the window. Brainbreaker to shut it down, and Cashback, not only do they stabilize in this game number 2, no, they just wrestle down Lotus.
The Fosh B on the hill ends up being the undoing after all, right?
Yeah, I think Lotus just not respecting that they were giving up a lot of map control that would punish them in the long run, and Cashback were like, alright, we know where you are. If you're going to give all of those positions to us for free, we're going to take them, and then we are going to systematically dismantle you.
Really good stuff there from Cashback, getting it in, making it even. And I think that's not the first time we've seen Cashback actually just hold passively on the lower side, rotate towards the hill, and then undo the enemy team from the hill. I think when you play something like Lotus, you have to be very aware of the fact that when you just sit there, they rotate to the hill and they just end up killing you.
Yeah. Well, that means after the first map, it's now going to be 1-1, which means that either way, your prediction is not going to come true anymore. We see the damage numbers coming in here, and I mean, Tarxic, he was trying his best in that IS-7, but sometimes even your best not good enough, and well, for Cashback, Mindbreaker on top there with, almost on top with 4.3k. Brainbreaker, I mean, he just got to farm the entire game. He essentially got to trade away his complete HP while always being able to do easy damage, and that's just, to be honest, the dream scenario for the Type 5.
It is, and he ends up being on top as well. So good, really good stuff from Cashback. You know, they played a slower style there, hold on, and then rotate, and you know, Lotus couldn't do anything about it. Ruinberg coming out. Slow gameplay was so far been the name of the game on that map.
Well, let's see. I mean, we saw last season that, you know, maps that can be played slow, and that for most of the seasons were played slow, like Siegfried Line, for example. At the end of the season, we actually saw some quick pushes, etc. coming out. But I think that only tends to happen when teams get like more comfortable with what's happening. So maybe for Ruinberg, we are still going to be in a pretty slow meta. But we obviously have to wait and see. I'm still waiting for someone to pick SJB from North. I got absolutely wrecked in random onslaught by that one. It was like 7+k DPG. So I think, you know, someone take note. Please play it. Not in my random lobbies though. But here in the OLS, I'd love to see it.
For sure. So we expect Ruinberg to go 2-0 in favor of Cashback, right?
I think the map just lends itself to the Cashback playstyle in the current OLS meta, where it's like slow and deliberate. And I mean, we have seen some of the Cashback players in tanks that can absolutely explode on Ruinberg as well, damage-wise. For example, T57, etc. Liberty, once again, has been doing wonders on that tank.
I'm curious to see if we have an evolving Ruinberg meta or not.
Cashback picking it. The question is, did they prepare something funky? Do they think they're vastly better than Lotus, and they possibly aren't sure of some strategies that they have, but they just want to see it?
Maybe. I don't know. I just want to see if there's something aggressive that can be done. Lotus is definitely going to try something with this, in my opinion.
Yes, please, Cashback. Yes, please, Little. Bring the STRV. Please let them spawn on North. Well, we'll see. Lotus, first of all, Type 5 Heavy, CS63, double 430U, triple E4, and he switches away.
Cashback, triple BZ, T57, 140, 430U, and a Foshbeak, Ihan.
No STRV from Little. Now I hope Lotus wins. Even though it would ruin my prediction, but I still wanted to see the STRV.
Yeah, well, maybe one day, Kian.
Yeah, maybe one day. Opening-wise, though, double BZ and 140, booking it through the middle for Cashback. And for Lotus, we have double E4 going there. Starting to aim with the E4s, but the way that the BZs are pathing, obviously the E4s are not going to be able to punish. Squeezy already starting to drive away in the 140. Big shot in towards Twist by Aphrodite to open it up, but Twist is going to get saved there.
And 430 takes it, and return Liberty and Aka pushing across. Tarks is there in the CS63, but this is quick pressure on towards Tarks, and Lotus will have to react here. Tarks will run away, but where is he gonna go in that CS63? Because right now it looks like Aka just gonna clip him out with Mindbreaker coming in as well. Minus Tarks.
Yeah, destroyed in seconds for that CS63. Mindbreaker is going to clip out with the rest of his shells, going to go on the long reload, and Lotus basically starting this game with a man down, and that is a problem not only for Houston, but also for Lotus, as now they need to cascade in towards the middle of the map, in towards that 7 line where Brainbreaker and Aphrodite are waiting. But those BZ-75s, they're just tanks that are made to buy time for the rest of the team to come in. And in they come. Mindbreaker already reloaded with that T-57, putting shots in towards David. Squeezy building the crossfire with Brainbreaker as well. He's going to keep running, and I think Lotus, with losing that initial CS63, are not able to get the momentum they need.
They try to react, but the reaction is not something that Cashback struggles with, because it's really hard to push Runeberg, especially down a gun as well, into these heavies, into these 57s, into that Push B even, that burst coming out. And Cashback, you know, they find Tarks in the beginning. Not sure what Lotus's overall plan was here, because, you know, with Twistic in the middle, they kind of knew that Cashback wasn't really field orientated.
Yeah, it just felt like the CS Tarks was being sent in towards the F3 strike to, you know, maybe take it and then go from there. But there was absolutely no contingency plan in place by Lotus to counteract what would happen if the CS just gets rushed like this. And you could see how convinced Cashback even were that this was a good move. Like the 430U and the Forge B, both, they completely ended up booking it with no concerns for their own life, with no concerns for their own HP, just because they were so sure that this would be beneficial. Great reaction by Cashback here. And normally they're a team that, you know, likes playing the longer game, but you can see here, if they see an opportunity to exploit an opening, they will obviously take it.
I mean, at the same time, damage, Aphrodite coming on top. You know, Cashback likes the slower style, but if you give them a free kill, they're not just going to let it slip out of their fingers, right?
And that one felt kind of free. 7-0 the scoreline as well, and it was extremely straightforward. I think during a lot of the other rounds of Runeberg that we've seen, it felt like teams were overthinking it. As to like, oh no, if we push here, there's that angle, but if we push there, there's this angle. And here Cashback is like, yeah, oh no, CS63, bye guys, let's take him out. And after that, we have the cascade effect into winning the game. And for Lotus, yeah, you gotta wonder what the plan was. I mean, it's obviously an FC call to go there with the CS, so maybe can't blame Tarks, or maybe we can blame him if he's FCing, but he can't really do more there. Like, he just blows up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the deliberate move by the CS63, right? You would assume that's part of the tactic. And just the question is, what was the overall tactic?
Whatever it was, it didn't work out, and that means that Cashback find themselves on a match point. So Lotus with the better opening on Himmelsdorf won, but after that, didn't manage to follow up on it, really. Like, they surprised the Ukrainians once, but after that, it was just Cashback all the way.
I believe they will do it on the second Runeberg, Jan.
Who? Lotus?
Lotus.
Or Cashback?
No, Lotus. You know,
okay.
for sure.
For real?
For real. Be a shame if you were right, you know.
That sounds like cope.
Not really. I don't remember, like, we're last? No, Moff was last season, sorry. Second to last?
I mean, as you said, who cares about last season, right?
No, only the last season result is the most relevant one. The most recent. You're only as good as your last tournament, Kian.
Well, I care about this season, about the present,
but this
about the here and now.
But the season is not over yet. So the results from the previous one would still matter.
That's why all the efforts now need to go into this one. So I guess Cashback, take my energy.
Right. Interesting one.
Right.
Yeah. You keep explaining yourself, man. You know?
Apart from obviously the past round being kind of a non-starter, though, did we see anything absolutely new, like tactic-wise? Not really, right?
Yeah,
I think it was just
We haven't seen a team lose a tank that quickly yet on Runeberg, so it was something new for sure.
True, I guess. But other than that, I think the lineups were fairly straightforward. We also saw CSs being used on Runeberg before. I think Koidicek springs to mind with like a pretty high damage round where he was like the last one alive and just didn't have enough DPM to support enough. But now Lotus seems to be willing to switch it up a bit. 277, a tank we don't see too often in the OLS, and we're not going to see it now as it gets switched out. IS-7, T-57, Type 5, Batchat, E-50M, 140, and Bliska feels kind of light for Runeberg, to be honest.
Yeah, it does look a little bit that way, but we'll see if they can match up against Cashback's Mouse. 140, Bliska, Fushby, Triple E4 is very meaty.
Cashback definitely want to trade. They don't want to go into the DPM duel against Lotus, suggested by all those high alpha tanks. They, of course, have a little bit of clip potential with the Fushby available as well, but I think for Cashback, corner trades are going to be the name of the game, whereas Lotus, they need to isolate, maybe track those E4s as well, but tracking them, driving around them on a constrained map like Runeberg can actually be a big problem.
He's moved was a strike, but Lotus is just playing this field. They're not really challenging this strike whatsoever, so they're playing for the field like we've seen the northern team do quite often, right? Situating themselves towards that eastern side, taking over the field, and then we usually go in a little bit of a slower game.
Well, the E4 peaking now, but I don't think they're going to find a whole lot. David still staying safe behind the rubble, of course, wants to pick up the strike. As Brainbreaker in the Mouse gets spotted, gets found by Jordan. A singular shot of damage is going to connect, but of course in the Mouse you don't care that much if it's only one good, great blind shot even by Aka though into Jordan.
Yeah, that's and another one coming out, this time from the Fushby, so Jordan takes two, one from Liberty, one from Aka, and that's the Batcha minus 1100 HP. Good start for Cashback, especially for the damage dealt requirement as well, which can be the case from these slower Runeberg battles.
And of course Cashback, despite the damage being blind, they will know that they hit those shots because the abilities go up. So this means they know they're ahead now. One Batchat shot versus a Fushby and an E4 shot. That is definitely more.
I mean, Jordan also got respotted, so...
Did he just outspot the Type 5 due to spotting points? That's quite unfortunate for Sokol. And, I mean, at this stage of the game, where not all tanks are known yet, information is going to be so valuable. Just because there are no info towers on Runeberg, kind of quirk of the map, is that every single tank where you get the first spot on, that is, yeah, pretty impactful because you're giving so much information to your own team.
Darks is creeping up in the city together with that Batchat of Jordan. Little taking one from Tuka. Squeezy taking the strike. I mean, if Jordan moves closer, he should be able to outspot the E4. Sokol and David now coming as well. We've seen this happen before, Kihan, where a team tried to kill that Mouse and it ended up costing them so much. So this time, Botsik peaks the hold down against Brainbreaker. Probably a better move. 751 is his reward.
And I think he probably can keep doing that. The Mouse, of course, it is a big chunk of HP to go through, but the Bliskovit's a pretty good DPM. Little now trying to peek, and I mean, the biggest problem that those E4s have around those corners really is the cupola. Even if you're able to hide your hull, then that one's going to stick out like a sore thumb. And I think some of the Lotus players already getting a good couple shots or two in towards the E4 cupolas, and I think now Cashback feel like they have to make a move, twist with a spot on towards the E4, gets a shot of damage out of that one as well. Pretty important considering he just charged up his ability to level 4, and Tarks now a little bit on the run because Akka is drawing close. Tarks ends up getting safe though.
You gotta be careful here from the side of Lotus though, because they're repushing, but it's only a limited push from the side of Cashback in towards the city now. Sokol, Botsik and David all coming around this corner, peeking and crossing over. They want to repush the city. Good strike coming out from Cashback as well. Extends their HP lead a little bit. Little running away in the meantime as well in that E4. Hightailing it out of there into a better position. Jordan and Twist now trying to pick up Aka, and they will be able to do it, but it's going to be costly for Twist because Jordan can't really sit there. Ooh, Jordan hits the pillar. I don't think he's going to die for it. Squeezy getting isolated out as well. Sokol coming from the other angle. If they could get this 140 out of the game, that would be huge. Sokol focuses the damage shot towards that as well. The strike gets used on towards David and Botsik. Botsik tries to get Squeezy out, but he cannot. He actually finds it. Twist finds Aka in return as well, but the HP lead's still there for Cashback. Liberty with his 2 shells enough to pick up David, but Little goes down as well towards Sokol, and it's not as clean from Cashback. It's playable for Lotus. They're up a gun as well. Maybe a little bit of magic here. Sokol in that Type 5 needs to deliver some big blows, and Liberty, of course, in that push be a real threat for the side of Cashback, but that was not worth it from Twist.
No, he tries to close the distance, but gets tagged by the Bliskowitz, and now he's a one-shot, and Sokol doesn't have a lot of HP anymore either. I think Lotus as a team in general starting to run out of that resource, so Sokol can't really make the moves. Aphrodite might be able to pick him up as Liberty comes off the big reload, the first shot to go through, and Mindbreaker to pick it up, and now Cashback equalize the kills, but they have so much more HP, and that mouse from the beginning, Brainbreaker, still alive, and the kicking good clip by Tarksik though finds the Bliskowitz, so all of a sudden Lotus up again in the tank department, but Liberty is a force to be reckoned with. He finds the T-57, he puts the first shot in, the second one as well, track shot to boot, and he picks up Tarksik to once again equalize the kills, and I think he has enough shells.
Anymore.
Never mind, he doesn't have any more. Yeah,
he missed one against Twist, and Twist taking a bounce from Aphrodite as well. A little bit of luck there going the way of the 140. Can he stay alive though in that pocket? That is the question. In the meantime, Jordan finds Brainbreaker though. Kill advantage for Lotus. Not over just yet. Yeah, Cashback have triple the HP, but they somehow have to engage. Jordan is on a one-shot, and he's going to keep them on distance. And now Cashback needs to make another move, and I feel like Liberty is just going to drive straight at this 140.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best decision available at this point. Liberty just about to come off of the reload. He doesn't really need to do a whole lot. Ooh, Aphrodite to pick it up, so Liberty doesn't even need to commit any of the shells in his clip. All of a sudden we have kill parity again, and yes, it's 2 mediums against 2 tank destroyers, and on a map like Muravanka maybe it would be doable even on this HP, but on Ruinberg, debatable, questionable. If only Jordan didn't lose that HP in the beginning of the game, it would be looking so much better for Lotus, but like this, 700 HP and a dream in between both of those tanks, and both of them are also one-shots for that E4.
Tuka will get the strike, but it will be a very, very hard engage here for the side of Lotus to somehow get in this. And Liberty, you know what, he's even hunting with the Fush B. I think Tuka needs to be very careful because, you know, Liberty with the 2300 Fush B is very, very dangerous.
Aphrodite now in the cap. He has a level 1 ability as well, just to be able to peek so much more confidently. That, of course, makes his 1100 HP a lot more valuable as well. Like, I think level 1 ability, it reduces it by like 25% or something. So you can just add about 250, 300 HP to Aphrodite realistically.
Jordan relocating. Aphrodite is very ready for this, and I think Liberty pretty ready for this too. He's going to go hunt the strike first and then maybe push down 1-2 line. But taking the strike will make it so Jordan has to be even more careful. And of course, Tuka will become a one-shot from that.
Tuka driving around. He's not in the immediate vicinity of the cap, so he doesn't get spotted. But yeah, Jordan, he sees that someone is taking the artillery strike. And of course, Lotus can't be sure who is where. They know that one tank was on the cap, the other one took the strike. Liberty gets spotted, now they are sure, but he exchanged spots with Tuka. And of course, the Foch B, it's just so healthy at this point in time. And, well, Aphrodite, he was charging his ability by staying in the cap as well. Now, realistically, instead of 1300, let's say that guy has 1600 damage. That's almost the full Batchat clip, and that one takes a while to get done as Liberty drives out, finds Tuka as well. First shot, the guy just does not miss.
Uses a strike to finish off Tuka as well. Now Jordan, almost getting blinded even by Liberty. We're still trying to get Jordan. He still expects him to be there. And now Jordan crossing over back. Gives a shot to Liberty. Doesn't end up connecting it. But it's going to be Cashback closing it out 3-1. Good series from them. The first round, a big surprise from Lotus. But afterwards, no surprise.
Afterwards, doing everything to make my prediction come true as Aphrodite is going to take another strike. Liberty, he sees Jordan. Mobility activated. Left mouse button to shut it down. And Cashback are going to be bringing it home 3-1. Yeah, they got surprised in one round, but the rest working as intended.
Solid round from Cashback. This last one here as well was a competitive one. Could have maybe gone either way, but did not end up going all the way for Lotus. They put up a fight though, and especially that first Himmels was a very, very interesting surprise at least.
Yeah, it was also a fresh take as to how Himmelsdorf can get played. I liked seeing it, even though I hated the lineup initially. But of course, if you manage to catch a break at the start of the game like this, if you manage to pick up 2 tanks immediately, and then not suicide with some of your lower HPs, then it can work out beautifully. So Lotus may be giving a bit of food for thought to other teams as to how Himmelsdorf can be played as well. But yeah, realistically, Cashback just dominating the rest of the matchup. Lotus making them work for it on the second round of Ruinberg, but at the end of the day, they got beaten fair and square.
Beautiful round from Cashback, especially the closing as well. In those situations, they're just always that good, you know, like always very solid, very strong. I don't know, not much to say. They recovered well from the loss. Played it out well throughout. Deserved win for them as well.
So, I think the conclusion of this match, basically, for Cashback, it's nice. For Lotus, it's very, very problematic. Because in the grand scheme of things, yes, they're going to make it to phase 2, but if the teams at the top manage to keep racking up points, then, of course, it just gets harder and harder to do what they probably had as, let's say, a stretch goal for this season. Is, like, first of all, goal is make it to phase 2. Stretch goal, make it to the finals. But that stretch goal becomes pretty much unachievable very, very soon. But, I mean, that was the phase 1 for Lotus and Cashback concluded, but phase 1 in general is still ongoing. And we'll hop into the next match right after some replays. See you very soon.
with the readjustment here. Is Illusia going to get another shot in towards the lower plate? Yes, that means one shot on towards the 50M. Is XCMax going to pick it up? Good shot in towards the cupola. It is the 1v1 we've been waiting for here, and he does it.
The OLS Season 5 is already here. The best teams are ready to head onto the battlefield. Who will you be supporting? Root for your favorites, follow their journey, and stand by them. With you on their side, they'll be unstoppable. You take hits together with them, and that means you go all the way. Behind every vehicle is a personality whose quick thinking and precise actions can change the outcome of battle. Victory is 100 shots and maneuvers, plus 1,000 emotions on the other side of the screen. Support your favorite OLS team. Be by their side. Together, until victory.
Hello gamers, and welcome back once more to the Surfshark Onslaught Legends Series Season 5. And this is a match of two teams that are eliminated, but with a little bit of prize money on the line still.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't affect the overall standings, but the money is there, and the fact for these teams to finally show what we believe they are made of.
Yeah, I mean, neither of them have had a great season, but one of them will end the season with a win at the least.
Yeah, exactly.
So far, though, between Weekend and Vulgus, which one has looked better actually throughout the season?
I mean, Vulgus have 1 point, so you can argue that. I mean, if you look purely on paper, previous performances, you would go with Weekend, but Crash and Burn doesn't even start to describe how their season's gone, so I'd have to give it to Vulgus here.
Yeah, I mean, Weekend has had a disastrous season. It was not really what anybody would have wanted from them, and well, you know.
I'm hoping to see Sam finally play a game, but looking at the player statistics, Evilok here, not that high average damage actually, considering he's playing some high DPM tanks.
They're also losing a lot.
Well, yeah, but you can lose and do damage.
Yeah, but it's a lot harder if a lot of your losses are like, you know.
Well, it depends. If you're a redliner, like Jakefa or Korma, you know, you can just sit on the red line and shoot while the team die. But yeah, I feel it's not happening for Evilok here. But yeah, we need to finally see something from these teams. I mean, one of them's gonna win, but you have to see in the manner they win. You know, if it's a collapse or a poor performance, even with a win, you know, there's not high hopes for them in the next season.
I'm willing to believe that it's gonna go all right. I mean, they still got a way back in, so maybe we'll see one of them back in a later stage in a different season. If anything, for Vulgus, it was a good learning experience, right? That OLS it's a tough schedule. There's a lot of matches, and performing in the beginning is very important.
Yeah, you need to come out the gate strong. I mean, they had some of their hardest performances early. I mean, they took points from W, right? They took 1 point from W, and yeah, I mean, that was something. We finally saw a bit of fight from them when I think most of us expected a straight 3-0. But look at the maps here. Weekend going for Ensk, Vulgus, Himmelsdorf, and a final map of Cliff. What's your opinion on the map picks?
Again, double city map Ensk, very quick and explosive, and so is Himmelsdorf. Technically, they should favor Weekend. But then again, they haven't really been playing that aggressive style at all throughout the season.
Yeah, but it's not just that aggressive style. I mean, I've always said this. The European teams, we play a bit more tactically. The CIS region or players who moved over, the Ukrainians who moved over, they tend to play a much more brawly player skill type of game. I think Ensk is a map that really favors them. I mean, when I played 15v15, Ensk was my permaban because I didn't trust the players. But Himmelsdorf as well, it's a map that has been heavily played. And I think the Ukrainian teams are really good on maps like Ensk and Himmel, so I'm really surprised that's the Vulgus pick. But I mean, we'll see. Maybe they're cooking. Maybe they can see something. I mean, Weekend when they played W, they took a point on Ensk, so they must have something prepared.
For sure. They need to bring it here. I mean, if you want to close out the season in style, right? That win, even though it's not as important, it maybe gets you some little confidence going on, trying to go through the open qualifier, for example. Predictions, though, 3-1 for Phil and myself, 3-2 for you and Kihan.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with that prediction, but I mean, I was just debating. You know, I had like a good few minutes of just sitting and looking. I have no idea where this is going to go. Both of these teams have. It's not a nice thing to say. Both of these teams have performed so poorly. I don't think it's good. It's easy to predict which one will come out on top here. But yeah, you and Phil 3-1. Me and Keith 3-2. I think if I get the prediction wrong, I don't hate myself here. I think this is a really hard one to predict based on previous history. You say Weekend based on current history. I have no idea.
Well, let's see what they can bring. Weekend coming out with the double mouse, the 140, the triple Fosh B, and the E4.
Vulgus going in for that mouse 140, 430U, double Fosh, and double E4. Looks like Weekend might be going back to their roots a little bit with that aggressive play. Triple Foshes, you can't play that passively. So we'll need to see what they can cook with that one. Vulgus' lineup a little bit more controlled, but that double Fosh can be a potent threat.
Yeah. But both teams have things to play around with, right?
Yeah, true. I mean, 430 it's a medium, but it's still a nice tank on this map. Both teams taking the Inspire medium. Weekend have a little bit more meat in the lineup, but I mean, I don't really favor either lineup. I'm not that much of a fan of Fosh B generally, so I kind of favor more Vulgus' lineup. But yeah, opening spots here, shooting down the wall to try and get some information, but not that much has been seen so far. Weekend not playing that zero line when any tanks, and Vulgus having two tanks up there. Maybe predicting remember the push that Weekend did against W into that corner into A0 with two BZs? Maybe they're anticipating something similar to that.
Yeah, potentially. So two tanks in A0 starting off for Vulgus, but both teams starting it very split across the map in the beginning. Not the worst move from either of those two. Danny there taking a shot by the Fosh B. He needs to be careful. Kunik and Language trying to trade it out, not finding anything. Danny on the retreat, and Kunik taking a big one from the D4. He's very far forward in the mouse.
Yeah, Kunik needs to be a little bit careful. Evil has good angles on them. It's nice opening play by Weekend, nice and controlled. The double Fosh is covering the two-line lanes, so Danny can't take that strike. Early advantage for Weekend, but it's nothing crazy so far. Oof, but if he takes a few more of those...
Yeah, I mean, Maresh now pushing up on 1-2. He's getting clipped out by a Hellwrap. 1.2k damage dealt towards that Fosh B. Hellwrap getting it out as well. Did use his ability for that, so won't have it available. And now, Vulgus trying to repressure the field.
It's HP for info at its greatest, you know. They now know there's 3 Foshes in the city. It only cost them about 2k HP to find that out, but... Kano now on the red line, gives one to Garva. Ollie's going to need to push with Danny on that one line, but Weekend are reacting very slowly here. I think Vulgus, they do have an opportunity to maybe catch something.
They're rolling over the field, but the 140 I think will escape. The mouse is going to be forced to stay, and so far just an HP lead building for the side of Weekend. And now Maresh and Hellwrap trading it out on 1-2 line. Both of them giving one. Ooh, a lot of shots there coming in onto watch Hellwrap. 1.6, and I don't think he had a really high level ability either, no?
No, I don't think he's gonna get much back from that. I'm surprised. Marej, I thought he would just get actually rolled over, but it seems actually it was a very risky play he made, especially with only being on half HP, but kind of works out, which is quite a surprise. Vulgus pulling's a little bit back, but there's still a near 5k HP advantage, and MV takes massive damage for that peak.
Not really worth it from MV to peak that altogether. He gets punished in the 4 down towards 1.1. And we can up 5,000 HP after these trades. So they're probably pretty happy with that.
Weekend did have that heavier lineup with the double mouse, but a lot of damage taken on Vulgus' side. Really unnecessarily, actually. Kunik took 2 E4 shots for no reason. MV as well. Marej, I mean, he kind of paid his HP back into Hellwrap, but he's still at a HP disadvantage. And it is Weekend who are going to pull the trigger here. Sunshine and Marej are now just trading 1 for 1 here. We'll need to see, but MV gets absolutely exploded for that.
Yeah, MV in the E4 is down. Ola now crossing over as well in front of the first Bees. They don't have that many shells available, so he will make it. Strike will come out as well and will hit quite a bit. I said shielding Sunshine. So team play coming in there. Now Kunik is the one exposed between these two. In that mouse, Rush Panda trying to trade out. He has to be careful from the E4 on the side though. However, we can still up 4,000 HP. Sunshine really low at this point though. Down towards the one shot, but Kunik, well, it goes down, and that leaves Garva quite isolated as well. And I said coming off of reload is going to be annoying as well here. Hellrap being annoying. Now I said coming back in from behind as well with the Fush B. Hellrap, I said the two of them combining on towards Danny. Even the Ram coming out. That was a sandwich for the 140 between two Fush Bs. Not one where you want to be in, and just like that, the HP evaporates for the side of Vulgus. And it's going to be Weekend coming in, picking up the first round of Ensk. Initial lead, never really let it go.
Yeah, Vulgus didn't make those good trades in the beginning, and they really lost a lot of HP unnecessarily. It really shows, like for me, of course, a bit of a cliche, W being an international team, same as Vulgus, but you used to see W make a lot of those trading mistakes, and we're seeing it from Vulgus as well. Just a lot of HP lost, and it's a lot of inexperience, a lot of peaks that don't need to be made, info, HP for info that's not worth it at all. I mean, it's only minor advantages, but it makes a difference in the late game.
Yeah, and you know, that HP difference, it just keeps Weekend ahead the whole time. They are able to keep snowballing. They pick up the first round as well. Wasn't too hard for them so far.
No, I mean, Weekend set up quite nicely actually. The triple Foch in the city, one covering the one line, the other one covering the 3 line to make sure you couldn't get the strike. Then they played it nice and slowly and very safely on the field, E4 covering the mid, and they took the gifts that Vulgus gave them. I mean, nothing crazy from Weekend, but still, nice controlled play, no panic, no big decisions that are risky. They just play, they punished Vulgus for every mistake while doing nothing exceptional themselves, which is definitely a skill.
Yeah, and you know, perfect stuff there for Weekend, picking up the first one, only losing Sunshine in the process. I think it's also the first time we see Sunshine play this season, right?
I'm not entirely sure, if I'm honest. I can't remember all of Weekend's lineup. I mean, I'm still waiting for the Belgian MVP on Vulgus' side. They got to give him one game at least for you to cheer on the net. Oh no, he did. He played Sandriva. I remember he got exploded in the 50M, but
yeah,
he didn't play after that.
He already played. You know, he's already.
He played once.
He put his mark already.
Yeah, but I want more. Sem was my EBR main. I guess that's why I'm here.
Yeah, but I was gonna say that maybe that's why you never won.
Listen. Anyway,
swiftly moving on.
Yeah. I mean, first round from Weekend, it's about what we predicted. I mean, Weekend on paper are the stronger team. We haven't seen it this season, but still, with the experience they have, the player skill they have, you know, when you look at Weekend, there's a lot of well-known names there. I know every member of Vulgus' lineup, and I know their ability. I know where I'd put them. And I would say this is a mismatched lineup if you looked at it straight on paper. But, I mean, Weekend have no points. Vulgus has 1, so who am I to judge?
Yeah, for sure. It was only the first round, though, so we're not really like that deep into the match yet. But it was a good start here for Weekend. Got to see if they can keep this up, of course, into the second round of Ensk. Which side would you pick yourself on Ensk, though, if you had to play from one?
It's a hard one. I mean, Ensk was my perma-ban because it's a very heavy player skill map. And I never had the heavy player skill to do it, so I would just straight ban it, so I didn't need to think about it. But I'd say in Onslaught South, in a normal game, North. I like the windows in North and the zero line positions, but South you get the good zero line that's quite far forward. You get a lot of cover if you want to make a push. The rails are quite advantageous as well. I think South I prefer, so that's where Vulgus is now. We'll need to see if they can use it to their advantage and get a point back.
I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't be able to do it, you know?
Oh, yeah. Maybe they need Sam in the lineup. But, I mean, we'll need to see going into this next round. Vulgus. Insta change, love that. Mouse 140, double Foch, triple E4.
In return, we can double mouse again, 140, Bliska, Fush B, double E4. So less Fush B's this time and more E4s for the side of Weekend. But still rocking then double mouse. Why not type 5s?
On this map, mouse can be a little bit more effective just because of the way the train carts are when you're shooting underneath. Mouse also has some more interesting angles. A little bit better for side scraping out, because type you want on a map where there's a lot of like ridges and things, but I think mouse is a little better when it's a city map, because then you can side scrape a bit more effectively, and there's not that much difference between the tanks apart from obviously the alpha damage you get. But let's see here, opener, Ollie takes one shot, Kano takes nothing in return. No big trades in the beginning, nothing major.
No harm done, but both teams in the beginning orientating towards the city. Kunik is going to commit straight onto that strike, and now the question is, as I said, Linker, or does he back off? Garva taking one as well, and Weekend, they're not really challenging anything right now.
Yeah, I like the fact that the Foshes from Vulgus are playing more on that, for us, the right side, but on the map, the left side. Not playing that road, just going to make some crossfire if Weekend do decide to repush into Kunik, but Ollie getting some info and making some negative trades, but it's not bad at the moment. They've taken the strike, they're retreating, they're taking their advantages and then pulling back, might want to make a rotation. They have full info, so Weekend do know that there's nothing on zero line right now. Vulgus can afford to just retreat and reset the game. This is nice by Vulgus. Reading the map well, using the info that they have to their advantage, now taking the strike on zero line, and I really like what Vulgus are doing at the moment, actually.
Yeah, Vulgus making some good rotations, taking the strike on the east, resetting the game, forcing Weekend to march down 1-2 line where they won't find anything, where they're not even able to pick up any neutral objectives either, because those have gotten taken away already. Ola trading it out with an E4, not sure if that's that worth.
Yeah, but he does get the info that they've pushed through the city, so again, it's a what we call a banter special, HP for info. And now Weekend have taken those positions city. Nice shot by Danny there, good timing on that peak, but Ollie is very isolated here. Trash Panda is happy to take those 1-for-1 trades because he does have more HP. Danny needs to be in support there.
Marash starting to clip out, and that Fush B hidden as well. Finds two already. Now he's spotted out. He's backing off actually. So Marash not going for the greed, accepting the fact that there could be tanks coming the side. Takes one from my side though. Garva now peeking as well with the E4 missing. The mouse missing in return as well. Vulgus really wants to do some damage here towards these mouses.
Yeah, they're being bold. They're not sitting back. They're already in this kind of little advantage here, but they're not letting it sit, which I kind of like. Strike going onto Lekak there, not letting him take that neutral objective. They will need to send that 140 to take the strike on the field, but it's quite nice so far by Vulgus. It's not rushed. They know that they have the advantage, no matter how minor that advantage may be, and they don't want to let it slip, but they do need to be careful here with Marej. Only 4 shots, down to almost half HP, and he's the one who has to cover Yanis cannons right now.
Yanis needs to be careful as well though. If they kill his buildings or destroy the buildings in front of him, he's going to be in some trouble as well. The strike can destroy a lot of those, so gotta be careful. And Hellrap just sitting there and waiting for it.
I'm not sure if they know he's there though.
No, he was spotted. He was spotted.
Oh, was he spotted? Okay.
There's the strike for the buildings.
That won't
as
destroy
well.
the building though.
It will.
Yeah, but it won't destroy the one, so Hellrap can shoot him.
I mean, the 140 should be able to find some shots on it as well, and you could see that the shots are now starting to come in. The E4, the 140 finding shots as well. Hellrap is looking for Yanis, opting not to activate his ability. Needs to activate it if he wants to try and heal back. He's not even going to get to the healing part of this ability. Hellrap's just going to put him down.
Yeah, not great, but it's nice by Weekend though. Not just happy with taking that 1 kill. They're pressuring onto Ole, but Trash Panda takes massive damage for that. Envy and Garva give good shots with the E4, and Trash Panda down pretty low HP now. Marej is clipping onto Sunshine, but bear in mind, that's going to be that Fosh B on reload. Kano's coming in. Marej now in the healing part of his ability. Trash Panda goes down, but Marej will fall here, and Garva is not in a good engagement. E4s, even with ability pop, don't like fighting 140s just because that DPF Bliska gives massive damage while Cutie needs to find a way into this game. Bear in mind now, Weekend are taking out crucial tanks while Vulgus are only killing these mouses. They're the tanks that you want to die.
And they're kind of stuck trying to kill Sunshine in the meantime. Kano just trading it off against Envy and that E4. Of course, the E4 doesn't have DPM. And the problem here for Vulgus is that for quite a while they had an HP advantage, but they're not able to get the guns out that matter most. They're going to kill the second mouse, but that you have killed an E4 and the 2 mouses. And I think for the side of Weekend, that is ideal. Those are the tanks you want to have focused out.
Yeah, but it's not over just yet. Vulgus aren't in great positions because they're all in this middle area. Hellrap going to take that strike. He might do a big double onto the tanks in the mid, but it's not over just yet from Vulgus. But they can't stay in these positions. They have to choose, either go to the left or the right. Take a flank. You can't just sit in the middle in these crossfire positions. Nice shot by MV into Katsang there. Pressuring Kunik, but Kunik really, ooh, big shots there. Katsang taking a lot of damage unnecessarily there. MV crossing over. Vulgus need to make a decision right now. Kunik can't just sit where he is. He has to make a decision. Either play that 0 line or pressure the 1 line.
Yeah, he's looking for some shots. I guess kind of in the 140. Olaf finds Icehead though, pushing forward. Hellrap pops the ability at least, so we'll heal back a lot of that. Trying to track Danny, finds 1 only for that, so not really the greatest trade. Did have the strike, so he wanted 1 more shot, so they were able to strike him out. It's not going to happen, and Vulgus have turned it upside down after all.
Yeah, and it's not even... Vulgus aren't even doing anything. They're just kind of sitting still, and Weekend are just making negative trades against them. It's such a strange one. I feel like they had the better positions. Katsang could have crossed over to the field onto the 0 line and hugged down the strike. Hellrat could have taken the city strike, and they could have kind of pincered them here, but instead they decided to make some controversial peaks and take so much damage for this. Katsang, no reason. He was 2k, he was more than 2k HP a few minutes ago on these rails, and now he's down to 200.
He's about to
MV
die.
is gonna, well, if Kunik doesn't finish him, MV would, and now it's completely Vulgus' game. It's just a strange one by Weekend. They had the advantage and they just let it slip.
Ooh, Hellrap pops the ability, but I feel like there's a strike incoming on his position. Is he just going to accept it? Yeah, he knows that was coming. And just like that, Vulgus is going to make it 1-1 coming out of Ensk.
Yeah, 1-1 from Ensk. I mean, I did say that I feel like that south side is favored, and so just a strange one by Weekend. Vulgus, Weekend made that cheap Fosh kill and then pushed onto Maresh in the E4, and those are the tanks you want to kill, while Vulgus was only able to push on those mouses, and the mouses, they're low DPM, high HP, they're kind of sponges that you want to take the hits so your E4s and 140s can do damage, but this end game gameplay by Weekend was quite honestly horrendous. They had kind of everything going for them, and they didn't make it was a 5v4 at one point, and it ends up as a four tanks left on Vulgus' side, 0 on Weekends. It was a really bad end game.
That is, yeah, the end game from Weekend was not there. It wasn't bad. It was non-existent.
Yeah, like Katsang, he decided to trade on the rails against D4s. That's not where 140 excels. If he goes to that field, he has Vulgus completely in crossfire. Kunik couldn't do anything from his position. He was just a cover. They played this end game like they wanted Vulgus to win. It was such a strange one. These Weekend players, they are established top-level players who have played in teams like Cashback and other Ukrainian teams. Like this is the highest level, and these guys should be performing much better than what we saw in this late game. Especially with Yanis Canas being so for free.
Yeah, so good stuff there from Vulgus though. I mean, it takes one team to give it and the other one to take it, and they took it. You know, they hit the shots, they made the plays, and they made it work.
Yeah, I mean, that end game was pretty equal. I'd say Weekend had the positional advantage because they could take the city strike, the 140 could have crossed. They had all the map control, while Weekend just had those, what was it, 1 mouse, 2 E4s, and a 140, right? So they had the more mobile lineup. They had I'd argue a positional advantage because they could take the flanks and kind of box Vulgus into the cap circle. And capping on Ensk is not realistically doable most of the time. But anyway, we have to move on into Himmelsdorf.
Yeah, into Himmelsdorf we go. And we didn't really see the most aggressive ends though. Do you think this is going to change on Himmels? Because both of the ends, they were honestly kind of slow.
Yeah, 6 CSs at least, I think. It's the order of the day. But I'm not sure, actually. I feel like these guys don't have that much to play for anymore, just a little bit of prize money, and they know they're fighting teams at the bottom of the bracket. I feel like neither team wants to take a risk here, and I think these Ensks were slow, and I feel like the Himmelsdorfs are going to be as well.
No 5 CSs?
Nah, that was a fun game to watch actually. I mean, it worked perfectly for was it Lotus? Lotus, right? Lotus vs Cashback?
Yeah, that was Lotus Cashback.
Yeah, it worked perfectly for Lotus. I feel like Cashback could have played that a little bit better, actually. Just cut your losses with the CS, but they lost the Foch there. But no, I don't think so. I think we're going to see a much more... Maybe some BZs, 1 CS, and E4 gameplay. Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Weekend, E50M, 140. Quad Bliskovice, and a Jagdpanzer.
That Jagdpanzer right there, I love it. Vulgus, 1 BZ, 1 IS4, 140, 430U, Bliskovice Foshby, and an E4, one of every color of the rainbow. Oh no, Jagdpanzer feels bad. I love the Jagdpanzer.
Oh, they took away the Jagdpanzer, huh?
Yeah, it's very upsetting. I'm emotionally drained now. But quad, not even quad, Penta Bliska. That's a bold one.
Very aggressive.
I mean, I do like the Bliska in this mode. I feel like without ability, it's just a little bit too slow. But you pop that ability, and it's just so funny. You know, you just scoot around, and you absolutely clap people with that DPM. But almost the whole team going 8-line here. It looks like they want to collapse onto Garva. But if Garva sees this in time, he will go forward. Ooh. Oh, Jannes.
Jannes is about to meet a lot of weekend tanks who are all coming around the corner. Trash Panda even dodging Kunix's shot, intended or not, and they're all lining up one by one for the party. But can they get the shots that are needed? Yes, Trash Panda did. Can the other ones find it as well? If they can, it's beautiful. There's Hellrap coming out with one. He needs to open up for Iset a little bit. Iset is very much eager and waiting to shoot. Finally lets it happen, and Sunshine with the kill, and that's the first one down for the side of Vulgus. But in return, they're finding honestly a better target. This 140, he's dead.
Yeah, definitely better to take out this 140. And now that we can kind of forced into the situation, good strike there. Ollie running. Kunik is the one they're going to focus out, but it's an IS4. It's not that important to kill. In the meantime, in the right-hand corner, Trash Panda goes down to Danny in the E4, and it's not great for Weekend. HP up on Vulgus' side. They're forced to push onto this 430, but there's Marish there in support. And now it's just... Weekend are forced into this aggressive play, but Weekend taking a lot of damage. Ollie taking a lot of damage there, and he will probably go down once Iset reloads.
Question is, does Iset get the reload before he gets around the corner? No. He will have to continue chasing. Mara's still on reload this whole time, so that Foshby got that value pick of the 140. Ooh, the bounce there in return even coming out, I think. Now Iset will find Ola. That's a kill on the board, and now Sunshine looking for Garva, but the Ram coming out as well. Beautiful execution from Sunshine. Knows he needed the Ram as well, and now Weekend up a gun, and they're chasing down Marash into Foshby. He doesn't have ability. He's trying to run away. He's trying to hide. Language in the meantime falling in the Bliskovice. Hellrap waiting for Marash here, but Marash I think will just continue pushing through, no?
Yeah, I mean, he should get Hellrap here as long as he pens all his shots. The Ram is not enough. He needs one more to finish it. If he kills...
Ooh, he
but a bounce. But in the meantime, the 140 in Envy going on to Sunshine. Danny needs to use his HP here to make these kills. It's still in the advantage for Vulgus, but it's not much. I think Sunshine will get one more. Envy picks up Hellrap. What a big mistake by Hellrap there. Should not be going down in that situation. Danny might take one. No, he actually finishes Sunshine. So a 2v1. And I said, realistically, not going to be able to win this one.
Alright, it's going to be Vulgus putting themselves on the match point to begin with. And what was a chaotic round. A lot of pickups happening around the map. Initially looked great because the Bliskovice is falling in D6. But then you have the bigger problem, right? The 140 goes down.
Yeah, 140 goes down.
Trash Panda wandering off.
Well,
Trash Panda wandered off by himself on the 7 line as well.
Yeah, it was a little bit I mean, this game was kind of hard to predict. I mean, it looked like Vulgus were winning, but then it looked like Vulgus were throwing, and it kind of went a little bit either way. There were a lot of, like, mini engagements where little 2v1s all over the map. The 140 and E4 of Vulgus were fighting, fighting one of the Bliskas, and on the other side the Foch, and were fighting Weekend's 140. It became a lot of micro little engagements. that, I mean, ended up favoring Vulgus, but still some mistakes by Weekend. I really feel like they had the early advantage here. The BZ that peeled off into the north, not the BZ, the Blisker that peeled off into the north. I don't know why he did that from Weekend.
What's Trashman there?
Yeah, why? What does he gain from going up there? Like, your Bliskers just drive into people's faces. It was such a strange decision.
Well, Blisker Witzer for 140 in the beginning. Interesting that Kano even got caught.
Yeah, you should never get caught there. Like, you're quick enough to run from that position. There's no reason that Kano should get caught there. And that really caused issues for Weekend. If he's gonna die, he at least needs to sell his life for more time, more damage dealt. Especially because Bliskers on their own are not that great, but you boost them with that Inspire in an aggressive, quick game. It's so effective, and losing that Inspire so early, you lose not only DPM, but speed, turn speed, all of the little percentage differences that it makes to your tank. So I really feel if Weekend keeps that 140 alive for a little bit longer, this could have been a different game, but I do feel like I don't know who deserves to win that, to be honest. I mean, I think
initial opening was better from Weekend, I would say, but
yeah.
The fact that they lost the 140 where Dani was just perma-inspiring, yeah.
Yeah, 100% makes the difference. Like, they got that engagement with the Bliskavitz on Vulgus' side, but Katsang should never go down there on that 3-line. And then after that, it was just kind of a free-for-all, which is very difficult to organize. You know, everyone's splitting off in different directions. I really don't like the fact that Trash Panda went north to fight the 140 in E4. I feel like you drive where the damage is all together. I feel like him going north just kind of dies for minimal gain. I feel like this could have been Weekend's game, but I mean, Vulgus pulled it out in the end.
Good stuff from Vulgus. They put themselves on match point and maybe even primed to take that win. That would ruin everybody's predictions.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I put down in the predictions the logical choice, but I mean, I would prefer Vulgus to win. I know the Vulgus guys, I like them very much, so I want to see them get some points on the board and get a little bit of confidence for next season. But I'm still trying to beat you guys in the predictions, so I'm not, you know.
I think you're trying to beat Phil right now.
I'm trying to beat you.
I mean,
Phil does not exist in my mind.
That's crazy.
This is me and you.
I never signed up to this competition, and all I know is Phil is leading.
I close my eyes and pretend he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
What are the scores now, actually?
It's all pretty close to each other.
Yeah, I think Phil has one more point over me, so...
Second round of Himmels coming out though. Weekend quad BZ, 140 Bliskavitze, and an E4.
Yeah, Vulgus, double BZ, IS4, 140, Hurricane, Bliskavitze, and a Fosh Bean. Pretty varied lineup by Vulgus, where Weekend looks like they're going for that aggression yet again.
Yeah, but this time with BZs instead of Bliskavitzes.
Yeah, tends to signify more of a cap play, potentially, but we'll need to see what Weekend want to do. I mean, this aggression, it didn't work out in the previous game. It definitely could have. Whereas Vulgus definitely going for that more control lineup. The CS going to take the hill. Double BZ looks like it's going towards the middle. Quad BZ from Weekend going to that mid. That could overrun Garver and Envy, but Kunik does get the spot, so info is on time.
The fight coming out here. Kunik covering off. Trash Panda, Evil, looking forward. There's a Hurricane taking the hill. CS63 and Weekend needs to realize they're on a timer here. Trash Panda taking 2 more. Being exposed all the way up front. Not sure why that was a play. And Ola is about to show Weekend what's up from behind.
I kind of like by Ola. He doesn't go into the strike, so he gets spotted quite late. He's going to go out of the speed mode, so when he gets spotted, he is going to be fully aimed, no CS modifier, and now he gets the shot into Hellwrap. So now Weekend run a timer. They can't sit with 4 tanks in the mid and just get farmed. A decision needs to be made, and it looks like they're going to go on to Envy on that left side, potentially taking the strike. But bear in mind, the IS4, the Blisker, they're all covering. This is no easy push for Weekend.
They'll have to try though. Envy and Garva up front. Sunshine peeking out. Minus 2.3. Strike coming out as well on towards it. The big strike will come pretty soon on towards the 2 yet again of Envy and Garva. But they're holding on. They're trying to do as much as they can. Envy might fall, but the Garva has taken a bullet for him. So both of them will survive just a little bit longer. The HP is very, very close. But you can see just how much Weekend is bleeding for this peak. Hellrap peeking out this time, looking to finish. Envy doesn't make it happen either. Evil getting shot on the side by the Bliskavitze, and now Vulgus starting to build that HP lead slowly but surely, because they're just struggling to kill these BZs. Hellrap peeking out finally. Garva goes down. Hellrap even boosts across. Trash Panda coming out as well now, but it's oh so costly for the Weekend side, who are trying their very best. One more shot from Envy. Hellrap will finish. Janus now getting pushed on. Ola needs to get into the game with that CS63. A mini strike connecting on two. Janus holding the front lines, but he will not last that long in return. Danny Pixel Evil. Hellrap now boosting away. Ola coming into the game by picking up Sunshine, and Vulgus finally find their stride in their very last match of the Surfshark Onslaught Legends series, and they will be winning it out over Weekend as well with a 3-1 score line.
Yeah, deserved, especially in this game. It was a strange one by Weekend. 4 BZs in the mid and then no plan. It felt like this CS on the hill, we've seen it in many games, in 7v7, 15v15. High speed mixed with a pretty decent gunner. That speed mode can be brutal from that hill. And it really felt like Weekend didn't know what to do once that CS got spotted. We all know they're on a timer because that CS is going to be perma-farming, and it felt like no decision was made, just kind of push through and kind of hope for luck. And that's not good enough in the OLS. You need more than that.
Congratulations to Vulgus. They end up winning their last match. A little bit of prize money going their way as well. 3-1. Unexpected across the board, but you know, after a disappointing tiebreaker against W, now they get the full share of the points with 3.
Yeah, I mean, unexpected based on history, not that unexpected based on recent history. Weekend need to come back next season, and you know, they're gonna have a lot of time to think about it. Look at it that way, and they need to have a think about what they want to do, because the decision making in game simply is not there. It is just not there at all. It's not nice to say, but the individual decisions by players, when they make peaks, it feels like they're doing it not as a team, but like for example, like where Trash Panda peaked in the beginning, you know, he takes like 1k damage for nothing. It's like, if you're gonna peak as a team. I remember when I first started to learn how to lead, I was told, if you're gonna do something stupid, do it together. I remember it was some, you know, I was in British Bulldog Company in 2013, and he said that, but it stuck with me, you know.
But yeah, they again, you know, the CS63 taking the hill, and that's the issue with taking the middle, right? We saw Cashback in a slower game kind of do the same story. You know, you take the hill, and then you force this lower team to start pushing.
Yeah, I mean, you can give up the hill if you win the rails, not the other way around. If you play the mid and the enemy takes the hill, you are on a simple timer where you have to make a push or you will slowly bleed out.
Well, that was it for Weekend versus Vulgus, but don't go anywhere, guys. When we come back from our little break, we have the match of the day, Hit and Run versus Mafia, but before that, a little bit of replays.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Surfshark OLS 5. And you know how it is. Sometimes the best comes last. And that might be the case with the match that we have on our hands coming up. But first of all, we obviously want to say thank you to Surfshark for being the official sponsor of the Onslaught Legends Series Season 5. And we are super happy to have them supporting the tournament. Surfshark is a VPN provider that helps keep your connection secure and private, whether you're gaming, traveling, or browsing online. It works on unlimited devices and is fast and easy to use, exactly what gamers need. They've also prepared a special offer specifically for you, our viewers. Just go to surfshark.com/OLS and use OLS at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. You can find all the details via the clickable banner below. And yeah, it's just below the Twitch channel, or between the Twitch streams. So please do go ahead and check them out. That being said, let's go back into the action and banter. I am absolutely banking on having some action in the coming match because, well, it is the finale of the Phase 1, but it might be as well the finale of the whole season. It is the classic derby by now. Hit versus Mafia.
Yeah, this is one of those early Christmas presents, you know. This is potentially what it's going to be in the final, so we get to see these two top teams fighting each other, as they have in WCI, as they have on OCS, OLS, everything. They have played each other again and again and again, and we have seen the highest level of World of Tanks quality from these two teams. So this one is scheduled to be an absolute banger.
Yeah, I think the best match ever in Onslaught history that I watched was also between both of those teams. It was a best of 9, and it was the battle for WCI. I think it was 2 years ago. That was crazy memorable. It went to tiebreaker, which a lot of matches between both of those teams tend to do. But when they don't, it's usually kind of a steamroll. It is absolutely unpredictable here. Hit, of course, looking very, very ready in those pink jerseys here. But I think recently Mafia have shaken off that kind of nimbus of being, you know, the second team between those two. And instead, Mafia have more recent victories. Yes, Hit ended up winning the Winter Invitational, but it was only a consolation prize because Mafia are the reigning OLS and WCI champions. Slight favor in the predictions for Hit, but as I said, it's so volatile, it's unpredictable.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be always the bridesmaid, never the bride situation for Mafia, but not anymore. Now they're about equally matched against each other. But looking at the maps here, Hit going with Ensk, Mafia, Himmelsdorf, and a final Cliff. We've seen a lot of Ensk and Himmels today. I've got to say, I'm not bored of it at all.
No, that just goes to show how versatile those maps can be. And I think since those are two Polish teams and together they actually form up to be the 15 versus 15 team of Invil, they obviously know each other very well. They probably train against each other too. And as always, when that happens, there is an additional layer of complexity here, because if you train against a team, that also means the normal strats that you've been training go all out the window.
Yeah, looking at the predictions here, all of us going for Hit, except Phil with a 3-1 scoreline. Daki, 2-3 to Mafia. Getting a bit stressed. This was another one where I spent a good minute and a half looking at these predictions. I looked at Daki going for the other side. I thought, do I want to take over Phil, or do I want to risk it all?
I mean, to be honest, if either team wins 3-0, I won't be surprised. If either team wins in a tiebreaker, I won't be surprised. It's just between both of those, it feels like whoever has the better breakfast might be having the better day, to be honest. Yeah. So let's see who had some British breakfast and who actually had some good food. Hit and Run coming in with the BZ75, a Type 5, a 140 triple blisker, and a Fushby.
Yeah, Mafia with the American breakfast of Double BZ, 140, triple Bliska, and a Fosh B. Nice aggressive lineups by both of these teams, but you can really feel these two teams, they're like brothers, you know. It's kind of the brothers' war every time they fight. Two sides of the same 15v15 team, 7v7. There's one player who doesn't get to join with them, but here both teams opting to go for the city. Fosh B of Conrad going for that field strike, and it's a good similar opening. It's almost like they know each other, you know?
Yeah, I think, as I said, normal strats go absolutely out the window, and that's why we see this hit squad coming out here from Hit and Run. They're going to get spotted, though. Good shot by YOLO in towards Pan's Fury 2. No damage reduction ability active, and there is a little trap by Mafia laid out in the city. Barbarian, the first one to take a hit here, and he might not be done doing that because Orzhek and Rex are both waiting, but instead they tap Monster, so the initial damage is going to be favoring Mafia, but the numbers still better for Hit and Run in the city.
Yeah, and they're now collapsing from every side. That's the nice thing about that south spawn and ends. You get a lot of shots through while Mafia are while Hit are pushing, but Hit have now collapsed in. They're trying to focus out Orzhek. Barbarian has him permatracked. He will go down, but Monster goes down in return. Yuzek being annoying on the side. Kono and YOLO pushing in now, trying to find Panzer Fury. Conrad needs to come in and make that all-important clip before Rexar goes down. It's neck and neck at the moment, but Mafia do have that HP and one tank advantage. Barbarian being focused out now that he's on reload. Ketzer leaving Yuzek on a one-shot. Tizek blocking that road so Prufus can't come through. That might actually be crucial because Prufus is not doing damage on actually important tanks right now. Yuzek goes down, DJ down to low HP, down to a one-shot, but that Fosh is on reload and he has a very long reload to go until he's loaded again.
All those Mafia tanks bunched up around DJ. They aren't able to take him out. DJ with another shot of damage. Finally, YOLO puts in the nail into the coffin. Hit and Run, though, only with 2 tanks remaining against the 4 of Mafia. Profuse peeking out, focusing for Franek, but now probably going to be going for T-Sec as Franek tries to run away to salvage the situation, but we all know there's going to be little salvaging. Mafia have this first round in their grasp, and they're not going to let go of it. T-Sec might be trying a cheeky HE shell to finish off the 140, but it's not going to help. Nope, a second Amarak is going to confirm that he won't be reloading in time, and Mafia put the first one on the board. It just felt like they were that little bit quicker with those kills. The focus fire just that little bit more on point as well. In between both of those teams, it is fractions of percentages that make the difference always, and in this first round, Mafia a little bit more on the ball.
Well, I said it when I casted with Daki early in the games on Ensk. I really feel like South Spawn has a pretty big advantage. You get better zero line positions, and we saw it as well on when those Bliskas went in the city. The BZ gave a shot on the Bliskas pushing in, and then gave another shot when they pushed into the strike. It always felt like Hit were on the receiving end of damage from the middle as they pushed in. Those little HP advantages can make a difference, because in World of Tanks, you never want to be the one pushing first. You always want to be the one who gets pushed into, because you get that first shot. Obviously, then your teammates come and make isolations, but if it's 1-for-1, you never want to be the one pushing in first, because you get shot first, and then obviously you have to reload. The enemy has the reload advantage, and you can see that here from Mafia. They set up really nicely. They gave good initial punishment, and they never really let it slip. They always had about 1k HP advantage until the end, and they just kept it like that. Really nice play by Mafia.
Shout out to both 140 players here as well. You can see Franek and Profuse both continuously in the fight, continuously pumping out that DPM. And also shout out to either team. You can see, if you sort it by damage, the Bliskowitzers, those high DPM tanks are actually at the bottom. So while, of course, the brawl was ongoing, both teams were also trying extremely hard to isolate the DPM tanks on the enemy team. Of course, most of the time you're not going to be able to catch the 140, but the Bliskowitzers immediately biting the dust, and also the communication when it comes to the Fosh Bs, both of them were not able to really do more than one clip of damage. Of course, Conrad managed to stay alive, but the focus fire absolutely crazy good. Now here, a little player stat. That is not from this game, but that is all the accumulated stats from the season so far for the first 6 matches. Barbarian, I mean, average damage kinda but a pen rate 94%. I think that's the highest number we've ever seen so far.
Yeah, you gotta be with that Fosh. You've only got 6 shells, you gotta make them count. But Barbarian is one of the callers in hit and run, so again, when you're a caller or an FC, you have a bit of leeway. At least that's how it works in my mind, because I don't do that much damage. But yeah, I mean, it's important to be consistent. 3k, it's not massive, but if you're doing 3k every single game, you're still about 50% of the everyone averages around 3k. No one ever really falls below 1k, no one really goes over 5k, so you're kind of in the middle.
Yeah, you're basically doing your own HP and damage,
exactly,
which is already a good start. And if you manage to make good calls on top of that, then...
Well, it means he's doing more than a clip in the Fosh, so...
Yeah. If he always plays Fosh, that is.
Right.
But that was round number 1, and it was, let's say, a brutal struggle in between both teams. I hope to see more of that, because that is just... the most fun thing to see in World of Tanks. I mean, positional gameplay can be interesting too, but, you know, brawls are where it's at. So let's see if in round number 2 we are going to get the second one, the map being Ensk, of course. Outlook is pretty good, especially when taking a look at the tanks that the teams are bringing. Hit and Run looking to come back from this 1 or 0-1 disadvantage that they're in right now. An IS-7, a Type 5, 140, double Bliska, and double Fosh B.
Yeah, Mafia, triple BZ, triple Fosh, and an E4. Pretty simplistic lineup. But I do kind of like it when these games go a bit slow. It's like a chess match between two grandmasters. But bear in mind, guys, what you're seeing right now is the top 0.001% of World of Tanks players battling it out here. There are no better teams than this anywhere. So this is the highest quality gameplay you're going to see.
Interestingly enough, Mafia skipping the Inspire medium. Not a lot of teams do this, and when they do, it's very rare. Then again, I can see why Mafia is doing it. They have triple Fosh B that doesn't profit so much from the Inspire medium, just because it doesn't lower the intra-clip reload. But Mafia this time around, going with a very, very aggressive approach. Oh, Franek immediately taking a hit in that 140. By Conrad, and to be honest, there's no one to really capitalize on it. Conrad, by his lonesome, able to do some damage already. That's a problem for the team of Hit, who, well, they were trying to trap maybe a little bit on the green, on the 9-0 line, but they're trapping into no one, and now the cap actually ongoing. Monster has to commit in the Fosh B. Doesn't pop the ability yet, as he finally does before taking the damage. Good timing here, but that's just going to spring the trap by Mafia, with Rexa coming around the corner as well. Finally, the heal coming in. Is it going to be enough to keep Monster alive? I don't think so. The heal is absolutely brutal and clutch. The strike even coming in. Monster, he probably healed 2k there. He's still alive. Finally, Ojek to shut him down.
Yeah, it was really nice by Mafia. They faced those BZs towards the city because they knew a Fosh was coming on that one line, but it was Monster who took the brunt of it, and he lived for far too long. But you can see here the awkwardness of these Foshes going around buildings. Barbarian will fall here. Uzek falls in return, and it's still a pretty equal game, but Hit and Run up massively with HP. So much time was wasted to kill Monster when he went for those decaps. I thought it was initially really good by Mafia to face towards Monster and boost straight towards him, but it doesn't seem to have worked that way. Proof will get found here, and then it's going to be about half HP for Mafia compared to Hit and Run with a tank down. This should be Hit and Run's round.
I mean, Kono trying to turn it around, obviously has the ability active in the Fosh B as well. Trying to shoot frontally on towards the Type 5, but DJ's having none of it. Putting a big one back. Rexa as well has the ability, trying to come in, but he's on a one-shot, and it doesn't seem like he's going to get such a monster, pun intended, heal off this time. Ketsai to shut it down, and Hit and Run, yes, they draw the short end of the stick in round number 1, but round number 2 is gonna be theirs, and the reason why Kono is tailgating it out of there, trying to extend the game by a little bit, is that in case of a potential tiebreaker, which we've seen time and time again between both of those teams, every single second counts. He's going to be hiding behind the building for as long as possible. Takes a shot by Franek as well. The first shot from him not connecting, and the 140 to shut it down. 1-1, all even after Ensk.
Yeah, I think Mafia actually had the better engagement there in the beginning. They kind of collapsed upon Monster, but that heal was disgusting. I can't lie. The fact that he lived for that long, and the fact that Mafia had so many clippers, they got out their initial damage. They made a kill on Barbarian on the one line, but Then they were just on reload and no Inspire medium to inspire those BZs, plus a lot of clippers with very long reloads. It means that, yes, Mafia make that initial advantage, but then Hit, they really push back while there's that kind of downtime where the Fosh is on reload. So really nice play by Hit. They took Mafia's strengths and turned them into a disadvantage.
Well, I mean, you see the damage numbers here with the Fosh Bees actually top of the board for Mafia, the ones that got a second clip off, that is. Barbarian and Monster are both not doing 6 out of 6 this time, but for Monster, let me quickly check. Hit points restored for Monster, 1,820.
Can you check Barbarian as well? Because this is the thing about this game. You see the two Foshes are dead. They're dead for a reason, because Mafia's Foshes pushed on them. Go.
Barbarian has only 723.
It's still important though, because what you need to bear in mind...
only.
What you need to bear in mind is that Mafia have 3 Foshes. So if they're wasting their shots on hit and runs Foshes, plus the heal on top of that, it means they're going to be on reload. And while they're on reload, the high DPM tanks of Hit, the 140, the double Blisker, they're dealing constant damage while those Foshes are on reload. It really makes a massive difference. Mafia, their lineup can work, but they just didn't find the engagement that suited it.
I mean, if you think about it, Monster healed more HP back than I think the Fosh B has without the Onslaught modifiers. Which is
it really
absurd to think about it, because he did it with only 1 heal.
Yeah, but it does show the fact that Mafia have such a low DPM lineup that they couldn't... But like, they pushed a lot of their team onto Monster. Monster still didn't die because of that low DPM lineup by Mafia. Triple BZ... E4 and 3 Foshes, there's not much DPM there. There's good burst, but once those Foshes are on reload, you've got BZs, and those BZs have really low DPM.
And keep in mind, Mafia also did not have an Inspire medium, so the atrocious DPM that the BZs have doesn't go to slightly less atrocious like usual. It just stays bad.
Yeah, exactly.
That was Ensk, though, and we are going to not really switch it up that much, to be honest. I think between Ensk and Himmelsdorf, the distance is kind of, not that large.
Yeah.
Because the playstyle, well, it's not the same, but the same kind of thing is demanded from the players here. It's tight corners, it's going to be a lot of brawls, there's not a lot of bushwork to work with, although some camo plays can be made, and of course with the Fog of War, we saw Lotus, another Polish team, earlier today completely catching Cashback off guard in round number 1, but, I mean, all of the teams will have seen that now.
If we see a Manticore, I'll give you 1,000 gold.
Yeah, I think I'm never getting those 1k gold, ever.
Unlucky. But anyway, into the lineups, Mafia, BZ, IS4, CS, 140, double Blisker, and E4.
And for Hit and Run, looking to put themselves on top of this match for the first time, it's going to be quadruple BZ 75, an E50M 140, and a Bliskowitz. So Mafia, after that failed experiment in the past round without the Inspire medium, going back to Inspire versus Inspire, essentially.
I do feel like there are styles of play for these two teams on this map. I feel like Hit always plays that 1 through 3 line, and Mafia tends to play the middle. But now it seems to be the other way around, so I'm just going to stop talking.
Well, opening-wise, I mean, Hit going towards the middle of the map more than anything else, sending Pan's Fury a bit closer to the cap, as YOLO might be able to put a shot of damage, but Pan's Fury instead gets the jump on towards him. T-Sec and Monster boosting over. They see this IS4. They think he's kind of isolated, and to be honest, the 140 needs to run. The CS can't really provide too much DPM, so Conrad might be in a bit of a pickle.
Not really, though. You see these double Bliskers coming in. CS on the hill. The longer this engagement goes on for, the better it's going to be for Mafia through those crossfire angles. T-Sec takes massive damage, and he's still getting found from behind. Orzic will finish that one off. And this is not great for Mafia Hit and Run right now. Tizek goes down, Kono's giving constant damage, and they can't make any kills here. A non-connection onto Yuzek, no penetration there. So Yuzek will do at minimum 1 more shot. They're boosting out of the line of fire of Kono in that CS on the hill, trying to pick up YOLO, but it's just not happening right now. You can see the HP is starting to dwindle for Hit and Run. This is a dream engagement for Mafia.
Yeah, and I don't want to cut it short, but this one's over if you look at the HP. Mafia still 6 tanks available. Yes, Ketsai is there in that E50M, but he goes down towards a one-shot. Might be able to pick up the E4, but no, Conrad already to the rescue here. Even fluffs the shot into the track. Rare to see Ketsai make such a mistake, but it immediately gets punished. Sent to the grave. Franek, I mean, with the 140, you are supposed to bait the opposing team just as much as the allied one, but it's not going to matter. Mafia, for the second time today, are going up a point, and this time, it's match point.
Yeah, I mean, this was just a perfect engagement for Mafia. Like, it's BZs pushing through on an IS-4, and an IS-4 is like a mini mouse, right? You want it to get pushed on low DPM, high HP, high armor. They're pushing through the middle. On the left side is 2 Bliskers and an E4. And on the right side is a 140 and a CS on the hill. This was never a winning engagement for Hit. And this just... You take risks in World of Tanks, you have to. But this just wasn't it. They simply pushed into massive crossfire and got obliterated for it. Great round by Mafia.
Great round. Once again, capitalizing off, I think, the fact that Hit this time around did not have the potential to just burst away tanks immediately with those BZ-75s. You could see they were trying to use them as battering rams, but they just didn't have the firepower to sustain it. They weren't able to take out guns immediately, which with the BZs is kind of what you need to rely on, because you're not going to beat people on DPM, so you need to salvo one out, then draw back if possible, not take any more damage, and then rinse, repeat.
Yeah, I feel like the pen rate wasn't there for Hit either, but I don't think that was a decisive factor. I think the fact that you have an IS-4 in the middle, to your left side is 2 Bliskers, to the right side is 2 DPM mediums. You're kind of stuck in this crossfire, which is so painful to get out of. Even the highest damage of Franek, about 1,500 of that damage was in the late game against the Blisker when the game was already over. The high DPM mediums of Hit didn't even get out that much damage. 3k from a 50M, it's not that much. Barbarian 2.5, that's what, 3 shots? Maybe a little bit over that. It just wasn't there for Hit. They really needed to make a different decision with these BZs. And
no, I can tell you the pen rate on the BZs definitely wasn't the issue. All in all, they fired 12 shots, and out of those 12 shots on the Hit BZs, 11 connected, and out of those 11 connections, 11 actually penned.
Oh.
So
I saw one bounce. That was my thinking. I saw a bounce onto Uzek, so I was like, the game is lost due to this one bounce. But
yeah,
no,
GG,
no.
You missed one shot.
Listen, at this level, these 2 players should be penning everything.
It might be.
No excuses.
Might be. I mean, the fact that there's 4 Hit players with BZs, and between all of them, they miss a single shot in the game and penetrate every single other shot.
Yeah, but
they don't do a single bounce with the iffy BZ gun with a low pen.
But you're so close range, though. Like, it's very close range. You're finding Bliskovitzes on flat ground. Like, realistically, they should be penning everything this close. But the reason they lost out was just due to the crossfire. And they tried to boost out into the 1-2 line and get out of it, but it was simply too late at that point. Too much damage had been dealt, and Mafia made the correct reactions there. But going into this next game, it's do or die now for Hit if they want to keep that top of the leaderboard. I think even if Hit lose now, Hit will still be top of the leaderboard just because of games won, but they'll be on the same points. But more importantly, that means Daki's prediction will be right, so can't have that.
No, that's the most important thing. And for both of those teams, this coming round might be a very important one as well. Hit, I mean, for them, additional points, always good. If they win this round, they secure a single one. Mafia, if they win this round, they secure 2 in turn. So let's see how this one's going to go. Hit bringing triple BZ-75, 140, double Blisker, and the Forspee.
Mafia, pretty similar lineup, triple BZ, that Inspire medium yet again, and instead of a Foch, it's triple Blisker this time. You see that they kind of almost read their minds, really similar lineup. 3 heavies for meat, 1 Inspire medium, and then 3 high DPM TDs. So really similar, showing similar styles of play between these teams. Again, 2 sides of the same coin, 2 brothers forced to fight.
Well, Hit once again trying to force it through the middle. Profuse immediately getting the spot. The captain himself trying to do that. And now all the tanks of Mafia have been spotted on the 1-2 line. Ketzai immediately popping the ability, might be wanting to drive away here. He wasn't even reloaded when all of that was said and done. Rexa is a bit split off from his team in the middle, starting to get overrun. But I don't think Mafia on the 1-2 are willing to turn around. At this point, they're taking a huge amount of punishment for driving over, don't get me wrong, but they might be finding some success as well. Pansferry cut off, split off from the rest of his team. Ability active, takes the first. The second Bliskovitz shot to the face, though, down towards 1400. He's going to be doing one more, but that's probably going to be all she wrote. Barbarian with the Bliska trying to help out, but the first kill goes towards Hit. But yeah, Mafia, they've just bled so much.
Yeah, it was a really long drive down that one line, receiving shots from the middle. Ketzai does his clip and managed to scoot away on reload now. It's not over just yet. Bear in mind, Ketzai is a non-factor in this game, and that means there's only 3 combat tanks doing damage for Hit at the moment. Yes, HP doesn't look good, but now Ketzai off reload, putting 2 into Yuzek. Franek, full HP in that high DPM medium. Rexar will go down here in the next shot, but Barbarian is perma-tracked here. Yuzek gives a big shot into Franek. Ketzai's not in this game at the moment. Crossfire between Kono and Yuzek, but I might be dreaming a little bit here. Yuzek does one more. Kono perma-tracked down. Proof was the last one, and yes, it will be tie-breaker.
I mean, how else could it be in between Hit and Mafia? It's going to be a tiebreaker, and that means that at least 1, if not 2 of the casters will be very happy about their prediction. But to be honest, I think all the viewers, first of all, are going to be very happy, because between both of those teams, who doesn't want to see more rounds?
Very true, and more importantly, the person in the lead, Phil, is now, he only did 3-1 for Mafia, so his prediction cannot be correct anymore. Highly important. This is almost as important as the actual game, but a nice performance by Hit. They did what was needed. That was a long drive by Mafia, and they were taking shots in the side, shots from the front. Nice decision making by Ketzai. He went forward in the beginning, saw the Mongolian horde coming at him, popped ability and scooted his way to the back of the red line to make sure he got his full clip out. Really nice decision making on an individual level by the Hit players to know that Mafia have isolations, Yuzek in the middle, left alone, and they can punish that one-line push. Really nice play.
And I think once again you were able to see just how focused both of those teams are on getting the DPM out of the picture, and on how high the level of the 140 players is as well. Like, they are always the last to die. They're always top on the board when it comes to damage. That means that they are basically playing a perfect game of World of Tanks every round, where they continuously have the impact to provide high-level inspire for their team, but they don't end up dying like a lot of other people would.
Yeah, I mean, those 140s, they kind of stay behind the meat of the team, so they let the BZs die while they're doing all the damage. But it's kind of what we saw in previous seasons when Mouse was a choice pick. A lot of times you'd see people driving away from the Mouse, and the Mouse was just chasing, and the Mouse would be top damage, and he'd be 4k HP in the end, but it didn't matter. He's in a 2v1, he dies. You know, so you never want to eliminate the meat. You want to eliminate the high DPM tanks and leave that stake for later, where it's a lot of HP with low DPM, and you can kind of isolate him in a 2v1, 3v1 situation where he's not really a threat anymore. So again, you can see the BZs, they should always be kind of the lowest on damage.
But when the BZ is somewhere up there, that means at least something.
Yeah, exactly.
Wrong. It means the enemy team was able to focus out high DPM other tanks, or the game just went so long that your initial strategy probably didn't work. But all of that doesn't matter. Hit and Mafia splitting Ensk and Himmelsdorf 1-1 each. So now we will find a victor in what will also confirmed be the last round of Phase 1 of the Surfshark Onslaught Legends Series Season 5. And Hit, the reigning Winter Invitational champions, were able to pick the side. They chose North. Do you think it hugely matters on Cliff?
Not really. I actually prefer the south side because they're the good donut positions. But from north, you get a little bit better in the mid, and you get a little bit of a better hill position. You have a better point to pull back if the enemy team plays a bit more aggressive on the hill. I don't think it makes so much of a difference. I could roll a dice, and I wouldn't really be able to predict who would win this. Cliff is one of those maps where it's the first 30 seconds are the most important. Because the first 30 seconds dictate how much you do upper side, how much lower side, and it gives you the info to make those rapid decisions to decide, do you go on the hill, do you repush donut, do you apply cap pressure, go around the hill, whatever. It's based on those first 30 seconds. So, no, I don't think the side makes that much of a difference, and I think this one's impossible to predict.
Yeah, I think so too.
Do you have a preference?
I would like for my prediction to be correct, but
yeah,
other than that, no, not really. I just want to see some great World of Tanks, and to be honest, both of those teams have absolutely delivered this match already. Hit and run against Mafia in the last game of the Phase 1. Hit bring a pretty heavy lineup, to be honest. Quintuple BZ75 together with a bad shot and a 140.
Yeah, Mafia side, triple BZ, double CS, E50M, and 140. Who do you prefer? I'm leaning more towards Mafia. I always like those a little bit mobile lineup because you can make a lot of crossfire. Hit and run. This is a lot of HP here.
I think it depends a lot on how Conrad and Kono play this one, because the CS63s, they can only find impact in such a game when it takes longer. So when you're able to take those pot shots at opposing tanks, when you're able to finish off low HPs with the strike. That being said, though, Conrad and Kono driving over, and so far so good for Mafia because they didn't take any damage, but they gave a lot of info towards their team that a lot of those hit and run BZs are coming up and over the middle of the map. Let's see if they're going to call the push. No, they see the entrenched positions by their Polish brothers and they decide to call it off.
Yeah, good decision-making by Mafia, taking those defensive positions, anticipating a push over the mid. The bat is going around the hill, and he will make some crossfires. So now, Hit and Run are on a timer where they need to make a decision before this bat check gets repushed, and they're deciding to go up and over the mid now that Mafia have come close. Rexar will be the focus of the day, but Panzer Fury will take damage in the meantime. Strike comes out onto all those BZs. It's massive. Rexar down to 500. Barbarian will need to be the one to finish him off. Panzer Fury is still alive here. Rexar finally goes down, but these tanks of YOLO and Yuzek, they're trying to go over the mid, but there's a 140 there. Bear that in mind. The Batcha needs to get into the game and try and make some kills here.
I think the problem for Hit and Run at this point in time is that throughout their lineup, they just have DPM, less DPM, because of all of those BZ that are very, very beefy, yes, but they also don't do damage quickly. 1 HP, literally 1 HP on Conrad here, as 2 strikes go down on Monster. Make that a third Monster, able to get the pickup though before he dies, but still, Mafia have the HP advantage. They also have the gun advantage here, as DJ gets caught out with that 140 behind him. Profuse is just going to nibble away at his HP, and finally the Mafia tanks that held the donuts for the longest time are starting to drive, to contribute, to move in, and Katsai might be able to save DJ from that 140 as he's going to be driving around. Once again, great focus fire coming out from Hit, with Orzhik and YOLO chasing behind Franek as well, who dies in the 140. 3 versus 2, and I think Mafia at the end of the day are going to be taking it home in the tiebreaker once again, but it was 5 very close-knit rounds between Hit and Mafia, with the better end today for the Mafiosi.
Yeah, we said it was going to be a good one, and it was. It's just the battle of the DPM versus the hit points. They push over the mid, they make those initial kills, but those kills are on BZs, they're on low DPM tanks, and then they're in crossfire between the tank at the back, the 140 on G6, the tanks at the donut, and the BZ that managed to go up on the high ramp, and they're just in the crossfire. And it's that age-old battle, hit points versus DPM, which one will run out first. And you see here, they did really nicely by Mafia. They used that DPM perfectly, they used the small strikes, and they managed to take out those BZs before it was too late. Really good play.
Yep.
And Daki's prediction was right.
I was just trying to think who I actually predicted for, because
you did the same prediction as me.
Crap.
Yeah.
All right, well, I mean, congrats to Daki, and also congrats to Mafia for getting a very, very hard-earned 2 points. But of course, Hit are not going to walk home empty-handed today, and to be honest, deservedly so. They made it to the tiebreaker. They had chances of winning it all, I guess. But today, at least, it's going to be Mafia to be taking it home, and in what a fashion. I mean, every single one of those rounds, once again, a brawl, good focus fire, great individual showcase of player skill as well, especially on the 140s each round. So, I mean, I was hoping for this match to kind of deliver, and it did.
Yeah, really delivered. It was really close games. That 1 HP might have actually made a difference. He got out a shot and another strike. I mean, it still would have been the result, but as we look at the damage here, you see Ketsai got out 5k, really nice by that bat chat there, but the BZs, the damage, it just wasn't there. Panzer Fury got absolutely deleted going in, and you look on the Mafia lineup, it's all the BZs with low damage, apart from YOLO, but he managed to take that high position. Kono 5k, Conrad 5k, Orzic 4k, the 140 got focused out from behind, so couldn't get that much out, but really nice by Mafia, utilizing, while hit pounces on the hit points, the DPM is shooting them from all sides.
And I think that was really the problem here for Hit, is that the tanks they were able to push upon were the heavy tanks of Mafia, and that means that the vehicles that are supposed to take the damage and take the hits and maybe sustain a little bit, those were exactly the tanks that got pushed on, whereas Hit, if you're basically the team pushing, as long as you're not surrounding and wrapping around the enemy vehicles yet, all of them that is, you can really pick and choose who you focus out, right? You have to just take what's available, deal the damage while you can, whereas the team that's actually receiving, they're in... Well, the tanks that are receiving the push themselves are in kind of an uncomfortable position, but they trade that in favor of the tanks that are standing around, providing the crossfire. Those are very, very favorable positions. So Mafia doing a great showcase as to how to receive such an overpush, even when there's a bat shot in your back hammering away at you. And this means that we have the standings and the final standings in for the phase 1 of the Surfshark OLS with, well, I think the most underperforming team this phase 1 undoubtedly being Weekend and Bunter. What a fall it has been from place 3 last season to place 8 with not a single victory and not even a single point, I don't think. That is...
Yeah, it's a massive fall from grace. I mean, you look on that right side, that 7-loss streak. I mean, it's not a nice thing to say, but you can't say it wasn't deserved. Every game, they looked disjointed and unorganized, and
especially towards the end, it just wasn't looking good.
Like a group of individuals, not a team. So they really need to come back strong next season and decide what they're doing. Vulgus, they made it a good go. I mean, we predicted them as the weakest team. They didn't finish bottom, so they outperformed expectations. Lotus and CTR, 2 newly promoted teams, I think they performed pretty admirably, especially taking some points from the big boys. But
yeah, and I think not all is lost yet. I mean, for Lotus, it's going to be a bit harder than for CTR, but I mean, with the performance that we saw from CTR so far, I wouldn't entirely count them out yet.
No, if you look at the rounds difference, I mean, they're almost 50-50. They have about a 50% win rate on rounds, but if you look at the top of the table, it's all very equal. 2 points split between 4 teams. I mean, in the beginning of this season, I thought W were the strongest, actually, just on paper. W and Hit were probably the strongest, but I'm starting to rethink the decision. I mean, it's hard to predict who's going to win this season.
Then again, I mean, Hit were top of the board last season as well, also after phase 2, but then they ended up not winning it. So even though... Yeah, exactly. Even though the this season's regular season is going to be more important, just because there's money prize associated with it as well, it doesn't necessarily mean that you should give it your all out if you're one of those top teams. Maybe keep back a couple of those really cheeky strats for the finals.
Yeah, and now it's official. It is the last chance to buy the Vulgus camo as well. Or is it gone already?
I think I had them removed this morning already.
Oh, that's so harsh.
Those 2 bundles... Well, mathematically speaking...
Look, there it is. It's on screen, Key.
Well, yeah, well...
Depriving the masses.
Depriving the masses, all right. But yeah, that just means that we are going to be cutting down from 8 to 6 teams now. That obviously heightens the chances for every single one of those remaining teams to be winning and taking it all. So if you're looking to pick up some Oracle bundles, maybe now's the time. Maybe you want a little bit longer, but not too long, because of course, at the end of the day, it's still a prediction, and the bundles are going to be, at least the Oracle ones, are going to be discontinued before those finals. Talking about those final streams, those are going to be happening on 21st and 22nd of February. But first of all, of course, now we are going to be heading in towards a teeny tiny little mid-season break. But we are going to be here again already in 7 days. Next Tuesday, same place, same time, twitch.tv/worldoftanks. And of course, 2 days still, you were and are able to not only pick up 5 OLS tokens for the Surfshark OLS token store, but also a rental BZ75 and a rental T124, both playable in the Onslaught mode. I think they even come with consumables, modules, shells, and even a crew with 3.5 skills, if I'm not mistaken, all pre-installed on them. So if you don't have those vehicles, they are pretty meta. I recommend picking them up. Also, if you go to the portal page that informs you about the OLS token store, you can pick up a UDES 1516 as a rental vehicle there as well, with all the same benefits that I just mentioned. Might want to head over there too. The UDES CSUs in the OLS as well, just like the E4s, just like the BZs. So I don't think we picked the worst rental vehicles this season.
Does it come with Bond binos?
Unfortunately not. We decided to not install Bond binoculars on those tanks. But yeah, all of that being said and done, thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you for casting. Bunta as well. The same obviously goes for Daki, who we will be raiding after the stream. So if you tuned in late, if you joined a little late, or you just haven't managed to finish claiming all the tokens yet together with the rental tanks, then just wait, stay here,
get the poodle, guys.
Get raided over, and you can keep claiming there.
I just say get the poodle. Highly valuable.
Poodle, yeah.
It's a fantastic tank, honestly. It's like a panther, but better.
How's the poodle? Anyway, that's all we had for today. We are going to be seeing you in 7 days, so stay safe until then. Have a wonderful, peaceful evening, and until next time, bye-bye.